A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, as an emergency measure, at 2 o'clock this morning, the state of California went on daylight savings time, which means that in California, we started the day an hour earlier. This sudden change has even upset the barnyard animals. Well, this morning when I opened my bedroom window at 5 o'clock, which was really 4 o'clock, I heard...
What a shame. It's their first argument since they appeared on Bride and Groom. Continue, Don.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the change of time has certainly been confusing. So now we bring you a man who gets 5 o'clock shadow with his 4 o'clock tea, Jack Benny.
Thank you. Hello again. This is Jack Benny talking. And Don, what is the reason for this sudden change of time here in California?
Well, Jack, because of the drought, there's been a power shortage, and the extra hour of daylight saves millions of kilowatt hours of electricity.
Kilowatt?
Yes. Yes, you see, we've had practically no rain, and it takes millions of tons of water rushing through the penstock to turn the turbines which generate electricity. It is then run through the giant transformers in which it is converted into alternating current. And this current is sent throughout the state on a complicated network of cables.
Well. Imagine them going through all that trouble just so Rochester can burn my toast in the morning. But, Don, this drought has really been something. I don't ever remember it being so dry out. Well, listen, this you'll never believe. I mean, this sounds incredible. But it's been so dry, last week I passed a citrus grove and I saw an orange sucking a lemon. You know, the rain today nearly spoiled that joke. We nearly took it out. But anyway, Don, I like the idea of broadcasting at 5 o'clock instead of 4 because it gives us more time.
Say, Mr. Benny, I heard you and Don talking about...
Oh, hello, Dennis.
Hello. Say, Mr. Benny, I heard you and Don talking about...
Did you just get here, kid?
Yeah, I heard you and Don talking about daylight savings time, and I'm in favor of it.
Well, I'm glad you are, Dennis. You see, it gives us an extra hour of daylight every day.
Yeah, I got up at 2 o'clock this morning. I turned my watch ahead 365 hours.
What?
I'm set for the whole year.
Yeah. Aren't you glad you made me repeat that, huh? But Dennis, look at me. I want to ask you one thing. Why do you have to be so silly? I mean, you're not a kid anymore. Look, you're approaching manhood.
I am?
And you have responsibilities. Look, Dennis, I really wanted to talk to you. Like, when I was your age, I was serious-minded, settled. I was supporting my family. I'd get up at 4 o'clock in the morning on a cold, wintry day, pack my own lunch, and trudge 12 miles through the snow looking for work. Any kind of work. Selling papers, shoveling coal, digging ditches, anything. And at night, with the pennies I had earned clenched in my little fist... in my little fist, I would drag my weary body home. And it was because of my efforts that my loved ones, my family, were able to keep body and soul together through that dreadful winter. What do you think of that?
That was pretty good, but I still think they'll give it to Ronald Coleman.
Dennis, I was just telling you the story of my life. I wasn't trying to get an Academy Award. I didn't even make a picture, so I'm not eligible to win it.
Oh, you're just being modest.
I'm not being modest. I didn't make a picture last year. If I had made one, then I would be eligible to win the award.
What a hand.
Oh, for heaven's sake, I don't know why I get into these things.
Oh, speaking of pictures, Jack, I saw a great one last night.
Really, Dad? What'd you see?
The Naked City.
Ooh, what he said.
Well, that does it. Mary, have you ever heard anyone so ridiculous? Mary, I'm talking to you.
Jack, I don't come in till the next page.
Well, come in now. I can't stand any more of this.
Okay. Hello, Jack.
Hello, Mary. Hey, fellas, look who's here, Mary.
Say, Jack.
What?
I'm all mixed up now. How come we're broadcasting at 3 o'clock instead of 4?
We're not broadcasting at 3 o'clock. Look, it's 5 o'clock. You see, you're supposed to set your watch ahead.
Ahead?
Certainly. See, the idea is to get an extra hour of daylight, and the purpose of that is to conserve electricity. You see, there's been a drought, and it takes millions of tons of water rushing through the penstocks to turn the turbines which generate electricity. It is then run through a giant...
Shut up!
Miss Stewart, you were employed on this program to read one line at the opening of the show, and that's all. I could have got a real chicken, but they wanted 90 cents a pound. Now, please don't interrupt again.
$643.70.
Dennis, what are you figuring?
John Wilson at 90 cents a pound.
Dennis, John, go sit on Dennis for a while so we can get on with the show, will you?
Say, Jack, are you having the winner of the Walking Man contest on the program today?
Yes, Mary. Ralph Edwards is going to bring her over later.
Well, good, because I got a letter from Mom, and she says she's going to listen.
Oh, a letter from your mother?
Yeah. Here it is, right here.
Well, what does the fearless Fosdick of Plainfield have to say?
I'll read it to you. My darling daughter, Mary, just a short note to tell you how thrilled we all were to find that Jack was the walking man when I heard the news. I got so excited that the cow is now wearing 4 Band-Aids. I should have realized Jack was the walking man as soon as I heard that clue where he played the violin. It sounded like a cat who already lost 8 lives and didn't have a nickel to call Northside 777.
Mary, your mother can put a Band-Aid on that gag, too.
So much for
This
Jack.
show was written in doo-wah-diddy, I think.
So much for Jack. Now, here's the latest family news. Your sister Babe has been studying dramatics, and this Wednesday she will have an important part in the annual St. Patrick's Day play.
Oh, Babe.
The play will open with St. Patrick chasing Babe out of Ireland.
Say, Babe should be good in that part. She never did have hips, you know.
This part doesn't give Babe any lines to read, but she'll have a chance to hit back at the audience.
Good.
No other news except we had to take your Uncle Harry to a psychiatrist, as he thinks he's an avocado. Every time I make a salad, he jumps in the bowl.
What?
Once he did it without dressing.
Mary.
Salad dressing, that is.
Your Uncle Harry is really a character. I remember last year he thought he was a tube of shaving cream. Every time he left the house, he wanted you to screw his cap on. What a guy.
So we're closed now. With all my love to you, your mother, Mama.
Well, I'm glad that's over. Now, come on, Dennis. It's time for your song. What are you going to sing?
Well, since Wednesday is St. Patrick's Day, I'm going to sing McNamara's Band.
Good. Go ahead.
Oh, me name name is McNamara. I'm the leader of the band. Although we're few in numbers, we're the finest in the land. We play at wakes and weddings and at every fancy ball. And when we play to funerals, we play the march from Saul. Oh, the drums go banging, the cymbals clang, and the horns they blaze away. The cart he puts the old bassoon, while I the pipe to play. Oh, Hennessy, Tennessee, toodles the flute and the music something grand. A credit to old Ireland is McNamara's band. Now we are rehearsing for a very swell affair. The annual celebration, all the gentry will be there. When the walking man to Ireland came, he took me by the hand. Says he, I never saw the likes of McNamara's band. Oh, the drums go banging, the cymbals clang, and the horns they blaze away. McCarthy pumps the old bassoon, while I the pipes to play. Oh, Hennessy, Tennessee, toodles the flute and the music something grand. A credit to old Ireland is McNamara's band. Oh, me name is Uncle Julius, and from Sweden I have come to play with McNamara's band and beat the big bass drum. And when they march along the street, the ladies can come grand. They shout, there's Uncle Julius playing this, an Irish band. Oh, the drums go banging, the cymbals clang, and the horns they blaze away. The carton pumps the old bassoon, while I the pipes to play. Oh, Hennessy, Tennessee, toodles the flute and the music something grand. A credit to old Ireland is McNamara's band. Sure, it's the grandest band in the world, and if anybody doesn't agree with me, just to be sociable, I'll fight the best man in the house. And I'm not long for this world. Old Ireland is McNamara's band.
That was McNamara's band, sung by that wee broth of a lad, Dennis Day. And Dennis, me by, sure and begot, I'm proud of you, lad, as I am of me father, Shillelagh. But Dennis, seriously, I want to congratulate you and all the Irish on St. Patrick's Day.
Thank you, and a good jaunt to you, too. Zo zijn met blik en ik wil de zee en später der jaten der.
Thank you, Dennis. And now, hold it, kids. Come in.
Mr. Benny?
Yes?
I'm here to inform you that the results of Radio Mirror Magazine's nationwide poll have been tabulated, and you've won the title of America's favorite comedian.
Well, thank you.
Don't thank me. I voted for Mary's mother.
What?
You're about as funny as an eviction notice.
Look, all right, you came here, you told me I won the award, now you can go.
Just a minute. Is Don Wilson around?
Why, yes. Hey, wait a minute. Ask me that again, will you?
I said, is Don Wilson around?
He's not only around, but he's a firm and a fully packed. Oh, brother, you may not be the walking man, but you stepped right into that one. Yes, sir. Hey, mister, what are you doing?
I'm setting my watch back an hour. I was happier then. Now may I see Mr. Wilson?
Oh, Don, come here a minute.
Yes, what is it, Jack? Mr. Wilson, on behalf of Radio Mirror Magazine, I want to congratulate you on being voted America's favorite radio announcer. Little old me? Yes, little fat old you. The plaque we're presenting to you reads, first prize awarded to Don Wilson because of perfect diction and flawless enunciation. Well, gosh, who won second prize? Speedy Riggs.
Gee, F.E. Boone will be heartbroken.
Now, Mr. Benny, while I'm here, I'd like to take some pictures of the lady who won the Walking Man contest.
Well, Ralph Edwards was supposed to bring her over, and they're not here yet. I can't understand what's keeping them. I better call up and see.
Hey, Mabel, what is a gate? Mr. Benny's line is flashing. I wonder what high-button shoes wants now. Well, answer it and find out. I'm loosening my girdle. You answer it. Okay. Hello?
Hello, Mabel.
No, this is Gertrude. Right now, Mabel is loosening Gertrude!
Gertrude, will you try to get me Ralph Edwards, please?
Just a moment. He wants I should get him Ralph Edwards. It's a good thing he talked to you. I'd have hung up on him. Why? Why? Jack took me out once, and when we got home, he didn't even kiss me goodnight. I can't understand it. I even brought my lips up close to him like this. Well, no wonder he didn't kiss you. What? I've seen a better pucker on a closed laundry bag. Maybe it's because I don't paint my lips up so good. You know, it's hard with a thin brush. I think I'll start using a rubber stamp like you do. Yeah, but you gotta be careful. Once at the office, I was in a hurry to make up. I grabbed the wrong stamp and my lips said, fragile this end up. What you say, Mabel? To me, Mr. Benny has a very sweet personality. Well, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. That's why you find so many things in fruitcake. Now, that's a fine way to talk about Mr. Benny, especially now that he's famous as a walking man. What's so wonderful about that? He was walking when Paul Revere was riding. That's the truth.
Operator.
I'm sorry, Mr. Benny, but Ralph Edwards doesn't answer.
All right, thanks.
Jack, wasn't Ralph Edwards home?
No, but we finally got to use that telephone routine we've been saving since Thanksgiving. 4 times we rehearsed it and had to take it out. Anyway, Ralph will be down here, and Don, until he gets here, we might as well... Oh, hello, Phil.
Hello, Jackson.
How you live?
I'm sorry I'm late, Jackson, but this change of time got me all mixed up.
Well, Phil, that's ridiculous. All you had to do was set your watch ahead an hour.
Well, that ain't easy for me. You see, my watch has got 4 hands.
4 hands?
Sure. Here, I'll show it to you. Take a look at... How do you like that? I saw 4 hands last night.
That I can understand. Phil, are those your eyes, or are you trying to flag down a freight train? Anyway, the change of time is no excuse. You've been with me for 12 years, and not once have you been on time for rehearsal.
Jackson, if you had a band as lousy as mine, you wouldn't even get here for the show.
Well, Phil, now that you really admit that what your band sounds like, why don't you let them go?
I can't, Jackson. Can't do it. I got to deal with Petrillo where I have to take all the in-between musicians.
In-between musicians?
Yeah, when they're through with Guy Lombardo and not quite ready for Forest Lawn, I get them.
What a combination, Guy Lombardo and Forest Lawn. Phil, who makes their arrangements?
Digger Odell.
Oh, stop with those jokes.
What do you mean, jokes? There. Look what it says on the music.
Where? Well, I'll be darned. May you rest 16 bars in peace. Well, Phil, whether you like your orchestra or not, we have to have a band number, so hit it, will you? Hey, what's that now?
I just did that to wake up the audience.
Well, Mr. Blank, you don't have to wake up the audience. You were hired just to do one crow at the opening of the program. You can go home now.
But I'm talented. I can do a lot of things.
Look, when
a dog, a horse, a pig.
Look, mister. Look, I don't want all of it.
I also imitate an electric organ.
What?
No, folks. Come on, Phil. Let's have a...
that was a short version. Why don't you let me know? I wish somebody let me know these things.
Well, unclench your fist.
That was I'm Looking Over a Four-Leaf Clover, played by Phil Harris, and as Ireland Must Be Heaven because you can't hear his music there, orchestra. And now, folks...
Say, Jack, I'm a little worried. Ralph Edwards hasn't shown up yet.
Well, he ought to be here any minute. Meanwhile, Don, let's have a commercial.
Oh, I can't do a commercial because the quartet isn't here.
The quartet isn't here. Why not?
Well, you see...
What are you laughing at, Mary?
The quartet couldn't be here because the baritone got married.
What about the other three guys?
They tied their shoes to the back of his car and forgot to get out of them.
You should have tied that joke to the back of Fred Allen. So, Don, even though the quartet isn't here, we got to have a commercial, so it's up to you to do it.
Oh, but, Jack, how am I going to get laughs reading a straight commercial?
Well...
Listen to this.
Hey, Jack, perhaps your guests have arrived.
My guests? Oh,
Yeah.
good. I'll introduce them. Ladies and gentlemen, it isn't often that we have guest stars on this program, and for a very good reason.
They cost money.
Besides that. But tonight it gives me great pleasure to introduce the master of ceremonies of radio's #1 quiz show and the originator of the Walking Man contest. Here he is, Ralph Edwards.
Hi, Truth. Hello, Consequence.
Well, Ralph, I was worried that you wouldn't get here, so I called your house, but nobody answered. I can't understand it.
But, Jack, there was nobody in my house, so my phone couldn't be answered.
Funny, I thought does everything.
Maybe it was in the washing machine at the time.
Maybe, but I'm sure glad you got here,
Well,
Ralph.
so am I, Jack, because I want to take this opportunity of thanking you again for your splendid cooperation in the Walking Man contest, which raised over $1 million. To be exact, we raised almost, yes, $2 million. Oh, good. And all this money, Jack, went to the American Heart Association.
Well, that's certainly a worthy cause.
Say, Ralph, do you mind if I ask you a question?
I know, Mary. What is it?
Well, in your 4 contests, Mr. Hush, Mrs. Hush, Miss Hush, and Walking Mush, I mean, Miss, that is
The Walking Man.
What was the total value of all the prizes given away?
Oh, I'd say around $100,000.
Gee.
And, since I've been running these contests, I've been the happiest guy in the world. I only wish I could give more prizes. Gives me such a wonderful feeling, giving things away.
Well, to each his own. But, Ralph, while you're on the subject of money, don't you think I should receive something for my efforts on your program the last 8 weeks?
Well,
I know it was for charity, Ralph, but for 8 weeks I walked and walked and walked.
yeah, I know, Jack, and I have here a check for you for $6.30.
$6.30? How'd you arrive at that figure?
15 cents for the first quarter mile and 20 cents a mile thereafter.
Well, that's why you strapped that meter on my back. If I'd have known that, I'd have taken longer steps,
Jack, I don't know.
I should put on that straw hat for that joke,
No, but I can't understand you at all. I always thought it was just a gag, but it seems the only thing you can think of is money.
So what, Ralph? There's nothing wrong with liking money.
Oh, but Jack, think of it this way. Money isn't everything. Supposing you were the only person in the whole world. All the diamonds, all the wealth, all the gold was yours. Wouldn't you be lonely? Lonely but loaded.
I'd be so nice to come home to.
Well, I may as well get to the real reason for my being here today. I brought along as my special guest tonight Mrs. Florence Hubbard of Chicago. May I introduce her to you and your listeners?
Certainly, Ralph. Go right ahead.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege to present the winner of the Walking Man contest, Mrs. Florence Hubbard of Chicago, Illinois.
Mrs. Hubbard, I want to welcome you to this program.
Thank you, Mr. Benny.
You know, I read in the paper that after you won the Walking Man contest, all your old friends, people you haven't heard from in years, came around to see you.
That's right.
Gee, that must have been thrilling. Who was the very first person to visit you after you won?
The income tax man.
I'll bet after the income tax man got there, Mrs. Hubbard's cupboard was bare.
For that, I left Chicago.
Tell us, Miss Hubbard, how did you discover that Jack was the walking man?
It was simple. The footsteps were familiar.
You mean you've heard his footsteps before?
No, but I realized they were made by a person around my own age.
Just a second, Mrs. Hubbard. How old are you?
39.
Gee, you look a little older.
I am. But they gave me a new birth certificate as one of the prizes.
Oh, I see. You know, this is really quite a coincidence. I happen to be 39 years old myself.
Really? What contest did you win?
No contest. You see, that's really my age.
But you look marvelous.
Mrs. Hubbard, remember you're a guest here.
Yeah. Now, Mrs. Hubbard, tell me, were you born in Chicago?
No. I was born in the South.
Really? Where?
A little place called Doo-Wad City.
Well, Mrs. Hubbard, now that you've had all this good luck, I suppose you'll be thinking of getting married again, huh? Won't you?
No. Now that I've all these prizes, I feel that I don't need anyone.
But won't you be lonely?
Lonely, but loaded.
Very much, and congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank Ralph Edwards and Mrs. Hubbard for being with us today. Mrs. Hubbard appeared through the courtesy of Carson Peary and Scott. Also on our program tonight were Mel Blanc, Frank Nelson, D. Benaderet, Sarah Berner, Blanche Stewart. I appeared through the courtesy of Penicillin tonight. Good night.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
Good health to all from Rexall. It's the Phil Harris Alice Faye Show, presented transcribed by the makers of Rexall drug products and 10,000 independent Rexall family druggists.
Good evening. This is your Rexall family druggist, welcoming you for the 10,000 independent druggists who have added the word Rexall to our own store name. You know us for the orange and blue Rexall sign on our windows, and that sign means that we carry the 2,000 or more drug products made by the Rexall Drug Company. Each one scientifically compounded to do a job for you. For example, there's Rexall's famous mouthwash, MI31. MI31 is a special antiseptic formula that kills contacted germs almost instantly when used full strength, yet never harms delicate membranes of the mouth and throat. Quality like that of Rexall MI31 is what we family druggists are talking about when we tell you you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Good health to all from Rexall. And now now your Rexall family druggist brings you the Phil Harris Alice Faye Show. Written by Ray Singer and Dick Chevrolet with Elliot Lewis, Walter Tetley, Robert North, Janine Roos, Ann Whitfield, Walter Sharp in his music, yours truly, Bill Foreman, and starring Alice Faye and Phil Harris. A few weeks ago, Alice bought a new car. She's been driving with a learner's permit, but today she's going down to take the test for her driver's license. She's a little nervous, so she's asked Phil and Frankie to drive down with her.
And now be careful, Phil. You're going a little too fast.
Alice.
And put your hand out when you make a turn.
Alice.
What's what you're doing? You went through a red light.
Alice.
What?
You're driving.
I'm so nervous about taking my test, I forgot.
I've never seen such lousy driving. Alice, you mind if I get out of this death trap?
Don't be sarcastic. I happen to be a very good driver. I was the best one in the driving school, and the teacher said my driving was better.
All right. You're a good driver. Now get off the sidewalk and back on the road.
Frankie, if you don't like what I'm doing, you can get out and walk.
Why should I? You didn't get fresh with me. If you were to try to kiss me, I'd be forced to defend my honor and leave.
All right, Brimley, all right. You can stop already. Look, Alice, here's the Motor Vehicle Bureau. There's a parking space right there in back of that cop's motorcycle. That's it. Now slow down. That's fine. Now back in.
Oh, I don't want to back in. It seems like such a sneaky way to do it. I have enough room to go in forward.
Honey, I don't think you can make it
Please,
if you...
Phil, I know what I'm doing. I can get into that space with my eyes closed. What's this?
You can open your eyes, dear. You're in.
Uh-oh. The cop's motorcycle was knocked over.
Did I do that?
No, dear. It's just a nervous motorcycle. You see, when you raced your engine, the motorcycle got flustered, jumped up in the air, and fell over in a dead faint.
You know those high-strung Harley Davidsons?
Hey, Alice, quick. You better back up before somebody sees us. Now, hurry up. Back up.
Alice, there's a car in back of you!
He found it. Well, dear, you're batting 1,000. You got one going forward, you got one going backward. You want to stop now, or would you care to try one sideways?
I think if you put a little English on it, you can hit that truck across the street.
Oh, it's your fault. You fellas get me all upset. Anyway, this time I didn't hit a cop's motorcycle.
What did she hit, Frankie?
I don't know. Must be a company car. There's a sign on it.
What does it say?
Los Angeles Police Department.
Oh, it's only a squad car. It's just a squad car! Hey, Alice, quick. Slide over. Let me get at that wheel. Slide over. Oh. Hold it there!
Uh-oh, here comes Felix Flatfoot.
A policeman?
Yeah, Lester Lockstep in person. Now, Alice, you be quiet and let Frankie and me handle this. We'll get you off the hook. We'll kid him out of it.
Cops have a wonderful sense of humor.
Well, nice driving, buddy.
Oh, it was nothing. Glad you liked it.
I didn't like it.
Who cares? I don't believe anybody asked for your opinion.
Wait a minute. You don't seem to realize who I am. I'm wearing a uniform.
Well, bully for you. Now run along and deliver your telegrams and leave us alone. These Western Union boys certainly...
Frankie, he's not a Western Union boy.
Well, thank you. I'm glad somebody recognized me.
Well, you'll have to forgive my friend. He's not familiar with the Cub Scout uniform.
Well, the wise guys, huh? I'm going to throw the book at you.
Fellas, this one doesn't have a sense of humor. I think we got a straight man.
Alice, please. I told you that we'll handle this. Well, if you're not a Cub Scout or a Western Union messenger, just what is your racket? Who are you?
Who am I? I'll break it to you easy. You see this badge? What does it say on it?
L-A-P-D. Pleased to meet you, Mr. Lapid.
Lapid?
Yeah, that's short for Lapidus. It's,
My name ain't Lapidus, it's Cassidy.
Cassidy? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't recognize you without your horse, Hoppy. Hey, Frankie, this is Hopalong Cassidy.
I'm not impressed. I'm a Roy Rogers man.
If you two comics are through, you can come with me. Come on.
Now, wait a minute, officer. Don't blame them. It's a natural mistake. You do look a lot like Hopalong Cassidy.
I don't care if I do?
Yes. Only you're even better looking. In fact, you're one of the handsomest men I've ever seen.
Well, it's nice. You're very... You doing anything tonight, Blondie?
Now, wait a minute, officer. She happens to be my wife.
Quiet, knothead. I'm writing you out a ticket.
Well, what's the charge?
Reckless driver, and you knocked over my motorcycle. You got a driver's license?
Yes, sir.
What's your name?
Phil Harris.
Where do you live?
Encino, where do you live?
North Hollywood.
What's your name?
James Cassidy.
Let me see your driver's license.
Very well, I have it. I have a uniform.
A likely story.
But I tell you...
Let me smell your breath.
Honest, I have...
Quiet, I'm writing you out a ticket.
But please, sir, I didn't mean it. Wait a minute! I'm the one that's writing out the ticket. Now, let me see your driver's license.
All right. Here you are. Thought I didn't have one, huh? Well, I'm a law-abiding citizen, and I know all the rules and regulations. And you'll find my driver's license in perfect order.
Yeah, except for one little detail.
What's that?
It expired 3 months ago.
It expired? Well, gee, officer, I didn't realize it.
A likely story.
You stay out of this. Here's your ticket, Mr. Harris. You'll find quite a few charges on
Now,
it.
you can't do this to me. I'm a celebrity. I'm Phil Harris, the radio star.
Well, good for you. In that case, you can afford a bigger fine. Be in court in the morning. In the meantime, have your license renewed and don't try to drive until you do. So long.
But, officer, I didn't do any... Oh, Alice, why didn't you tell him that you were driving the car?
Oh, but, Phil, if he gave me a ticket, it would spoil my chance of getting my driver's license. Oh, honey, it was sweet of you to take the blame from me.
Yeah, you wouldn't have got your license. I guess you're right. Well, after all, it'll only take me a few minutes to renew my license. Let's go in the Motor Vehicle Bureau and get it over with. Hey, Frankie, will you park the car?
Yeah, okay, Stroh.
Come on, Alice. Hey, honey, as soon as they recognize me in there, I'll get my license renewed. Like that.
Huh. Suppose they don't recognize you.
Well, I'll make sure they do. I'll walk in singing like this. 1, 2. Well, look at them shuffling down, rambling, scrambling, heading for town, hustling, bustling, buzzing around, happily awaiting at the station. Well, look at the train, the number 709, huffing and puffing and arriving on time. Who do you think's about to arrive? The band they call the Dixieland Five. They're gonna play that Muskrat Ramble tune, the way you never ever heard it played. Get ready for the big parade. All together now, 1 and 2. Come on and join the happy throng. Feel the beat of that rambling, scrambling muskrat song. Come on and ramble along. Look at them a-shuffling down. Look at the band parading all over town. Look at the happiness going around. Well, everybody's up and celebrating. Look at the drummer entertaining the gang. Clinking and clanging with the bing and the bang. Changing the town from dead to alive. The band they call the Dixieland Five. You're going to hear them play old Dixieland. You better get your reservation planned in person for a one-night stand. All together now, 1 and 2. Come on to join the happy throng. Feel the beat of that shuffle and scuffle and muskrat song. Come on and ramble along. They'll play that Dixieland. You better get your reservation planned in person for a one-night stand. All together now, 1 and 2. Come on to join the happy throng. Feel the beat of that shuffle and scuffle and muskrat song. Come on and ramble along.
Hiya, Cassidy. What's on your mind?
Hey, George, I want you to do me a favor.
Sure.
Some wise guy named Phil Harris is coming in to renew his driver's license. He thinks he's a big shot. So when he comes in, I want you and the boys to give him the works.
Oh, we know how to handle that type. Hey, Jack, when this Harris guy comes in, I want you and Eddie to get in line and back of him and make believe you're applying for a license, too.
Okay, George.
We'll take care of Harris.
Drive him crazy, fellas. Here he comes. He's the one with the blonde hair. I better duck for it.
Leave it up, Cassidy. Eddie, you and Jack go out and get in line and back up. Huh?
Say, pardon me, Bud, but where do I renew my driver's license?
Oh, right here. What's your name, sir?
I, sir, am Phil Harris.
Phil Harris? Oh, wait till I tell the boys. Fellas, look who's here. Phil Harris!
See, Alice, it happens every time. You people are kind of impressed at seeing me, aren't you, Bud?
Oh, yes. We haven't been so thrilled since Lassie came in for a dog license. Now, what can I do for you?
Well, I want to have my license renewed.
Oh, very well. There'll be a few questions to answer. First, who were you sired by?
Well, why do I have to answer questions? All I want is a license. Here's my old one. Give me a new one.
Oh, you optimist, you. It's not that simple. Before I can stamp your license, you'll have to take an eye test, a road sign test, a traffic law test, a driving test, a loyalty test, a blood test, and a screen test.
Well, why do I have to go through all that? I've been driving for 20 years.
We have to be very strict about who we issue licenses to.
You mean that I have to go through all that, too?
Oh, I didn't see you, miss. What did you want, Blondie?
Well, I want a driver's license.
You ever had a license before, dear?
No. No, I've just learned to drive.
And you want a license, honey?
Yes, sir.
Here you are, darling. Take this over to window 4.
Oh, thank you. See you later, Phil.
Now, wait a minute. Why do I have to go through all those tests and she gets her license stamped right away?
She's prettier than you are.
Only because she's wearing makeup. Look, I'm sick and tired of the red tape. All I want to do is renew my license, and I don't need no written test or no eye test.
Well, please, the tests are very important for the safety of the public. I got no time to argue. There are 2 men waiting in line in back of you.
But look, mister, I want to...
Please, step aside.
Oh.
Now, what can I do for you, sir?
I want a driver's license.
Very well. Step right up to the window.
What window? I don't see very well. Where is it?
Right over here.
All right, don't help me. I'll manage to find it. This must be the window.
Get your nose out of my face.
Oh, pardon me. I mistook the lines in your face for the bars on the window. Now, let me see now. Where is that window?
This way.
Keep talking. I'll come in on the sound of your voice.
Beep, 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 beep. There we are. Now you say you want a driver's license?
Yes.
Well, I'll have to give you the eye test. How is your vision?
Perfect.
You passed. Here's your license.
Nice thorough examination.
Thanks for the license. Now, if you'll just aim me toward the door, I'll be on my way.
Good luck. Oh, and by the way, if you ever get a chance, drop in and get yourself a pair of glasses, will you?
Well, I've been trying to for 3 years, but I can never find the optometrist's office. Well, I'll be seeing you.
With what? How come you gave him a license?
Who?
That baseball umpire that just left. What kind of an eye test was that?
Now, we have to be strict. We can't have reckless drivers on the streets. Now, what is it you wanted again?
I want to renew my driver's license. All I want is for you
Bud,
to take...
I'm next. I want a driver's license.
Oh, yes, sir. How long have you been driving?
2 weeks.
You got any tickets for traffic violations?
About 22.
You ever been jailed on a traffic charge?
6 or 7 times.
You ever hit a pedestrian?
Only when they get my way.
I like your attitude.
Here's your license. Hold it! Now, why did you give him a license?
Well, why shouldn't I?
In 2 weeks, he got 22 tickets. He was in jail 7 times, and he hits pedestrians when they get in his way.
So he made one little mistake. I feel if a man is trying, he should be given another chance. After all, that's the democratic way you do it.
Never mind him. Now, how about me?
Oh, yes. What was it you wanted again?
I just want to renew my driver's license.
Well, why didn't you say so? If that's all you want, it won't take any time at all. Well, what do you know? 12 o'clock in time for lunch. I'll be back in an hour.
Come back here. Open that window. All I want is my driver's license.
I'm all ready to...
I never did it.
What are you laughing at?
Oh, I just thought of a joke. Who's laughing? They put me through all that red tape, and the guy gave you your license just like that.
Oh, that was no license he gave me. That was just an application. I'm doing fine, dear. I just passed my eye test.
Oh, that was a tough one.
I passed my written test, too. And now I'm going out to take my driving test.
I got a tip for you.
What?
If you can hit somebody, it'll help. Never saw such a place. I'm having nothing but trouble.
Oh, cheer up, honey. Don't be a grouch. Stay with the happy people.
Yeah? That sounds suspiciously like...
It is. We've got to stay with the happy people. Have your fun, live in the land of joy. Stay with the happy people. Face the sun, life is a Christmas toy. Down through the endless ages, tears have been contagious. And take it from me, the misery is looking around for company. So stay, stay, stay with the happy people. Don't you wrinkle your brow, it's strictly out of style. Just stay with the people who love to wear a smile.
Smile, smile, won't you wear a smile? Smile, smile, won't you wear a smile? Smile, smile, won't you wear a smile? If you want to stay with the happy people.
Have your fun, live in the land of joy.
If you want to stay with the happy people.
Face the sun, life is a Christmas toy. Down through the endless ages, tears have been contagious, and you can take it from me that misery is looking around for company.
So stay, stay, stay with the happy people.
Don't you wrinkle your brow, it's strictly out of style.
Just stay, stay, stay with the people. Love, love, love all the people who wear a
Well, how are we doing, Cassidy?
Wonderful, George. Wonderful. You guys really got that Harris character going.
Hi, Officer Cassidy. Here are the groceries your wife wants you to bring home.
Oh, thanks, Julius.
What are you guys laughing at?
Some wise guy's trying to renew his driver's license. We're making it tough for him.
I don't think that's a very nice thing to do. Who is the poor fella you're doing this to?
Phil Harris.
As I was saying, it's not a very nice thing to do, and how can I help louse up the big slob?
Well, we're trying to think of some tough tests to give him. Have you got any suggestions?
Yeah, let me give him the test. I'll tell him I'm a new clerk you put on part-time.
Okay. That's Harris banging on my window now. You better open it up, Julius.
Okay, this is going to be a pleasure.
Well, it's about time you opened your window.
What's on your mind, Mac?
Well, sir, I want to renew my... No, not you.
Yeah, it's me.
What are you doing behind there, you little squirt?
I just started working part-time, and if you want a license, you'll have to deal with me.
Look, Julius, if you think I'm going to let you give me...
Don't aggravate me. I'm a very nasty little clique when I'm upset. Now then, let's get on with your test.
Now, wait a minute. I'm not going to take any test from you because you won't give me a fair break.
Mr. Harris, I assure you my personal feelings will not bias my opinions.
Well, in that case, all right.
Just because I hate your guts don't mean I won't give you a fair test. Now, the first thing I got to do is give you the eye test.
I tell you, I'm not going to... The eye test? Oh, that's a cinch. I know how to answer that one. Go ahead, ask me the question.
How's your vision?
Perfect. I pass. Give me my license. Stamp, 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 stamp. Give me another.
Not so fast. Gotta read the chart on the wall first. Cover your left eye and read the top line.
Okay. A-M-L-T.
Now cover your right eye and read the second line.
P-R-S-V.
Now cover both eyes and read the third line.
If it's all right with you, can I feel the letters a little?
Don't be lenient. I'll let you read it with one eye open.
Oh, I'd hate to cheat like that.
Go ahead, read the third line.
Q-F-X-W-Z.
Now pronounce it. Well, stop stalling, Mac. Pronounce it.
Province. Laval. Swamps.
69.
Why?
You can't read English. There'd be a danger on the road. If you came across a word like that on a road sign, you wouldn't
Well, where will I ever come across a sign like that? It don't mean nothing.
That's what you think. In Czechoslovakia, it means no U-turn.
How do you like that? I've been driving for 20 years, and I didn't know that in Czechoslovakia you're not allowed to make a quants. Look, I'm not going to take any more of this from you. This is the most outrageous thing that I've ever heard of. I'm not going to...
Okay, I'll take over now. I think we got about as far as we can with
You're darn right you have, because I'm a citizen and I demand my rights.
Very well.
Very funny.
No. What was it you wanted again?
Yes, I remember.
You wanted to renew your driver's license.
Now we're getting someplace.
Well, just fill out this application, and in no time at all, we'll have... Well, the 5 o'clock whistle. Time to go home. Good night.
Wait! Open that window. Open the window, I say. You can't do this to me. I want my license.
Bill, look. I passed all the tests and got my driver's license. How did you do?
I didn't get one. Come on, let's go home. I've been framed. They wouldn't give me my license.
Well, one consolation. Now that you can't drive, you can't get any more tickets. Oh, there's the car across the street.
Well, wait here, and I'll get Frankie to drive it over.
Oh, Bill! Bill, be careful crossing the street, you...
Don't tell me how to cross the street. I've been crossing them for 35 years.
Hey, Harris!
Oh, it's you, Cassidy.
I got something for you.
My driver's license?
No, a ticket for jaywalk.
No!
Alice and Phil will be back in just a moment. But first, here's your Rexall family druggist.
The other day I was telling a customer about one of Rexall's best-known products called Bismarex.
Oh, you don't have to tell me about Bismarex. I already know what swell relief it is for acid indigestion.
Well, as a matter of fact, that's exactly what this customer said. But wouldn't you still like to know why that's true?
Well, yes, I guess I would.
Well, the secret lies in the scientifically developed formula for Bismarex. You see, the active ingredients in Bismarex vary in the time it takes them to dissolve in the stomach. That way, the relief it gives is not only prompt, but continuous and prolonged. Excess acidity is often neutralized within 1 minute. Then the other ingredients, dissolving more slowly, ease up those acid gastric pains. And finally, Bismarex leaves a soothing protective covering on irritated stomach membranes.
Well, no wonder Bismarex works so well.
Well, ma'am, 10,000 family druggists don't wonder about it. You see, we know you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Good health to all from Rexall.
Folks, this is Phil Harris again, and as you may know, the present time I'm crossing the country with a big 2-hour stage show, including my chief stooge, Jackson Benny. Then we have Rochester, gorgeous film star Vivian Blaine, my whole band, and many other wonderful extra acts, all in person. Tonight we play Milwaukee. Tomorrow, Monday, we play Peoria. This Tuesday, we'll be in St. Louis. This Wednesday, Indianapolis. Thursday, Grand Rapids. Friday in Detroit. Saturday, Toledo. And next Sunday in Cleveland. It's a great show, and I hope you'll ask for your tickets early because they're going fast. Join us on the air again next Sunday. Thanks, and good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
This program was produced and transcribed by Paul Phillips. Now Rexall brings you ProCap, the adhesive tape that sticks better, stays put longer, and is less irritating than any adhesive plaster made. Yes, now, after years of research and testing in some of the country's most famous clinics and hospitals, ProCap is ready for use in your own home. The finest adhesive tape money can buy. That's ProCap, P-R-O-C-A-P. Ask for it at the store with the orange and blue Rexall sign on the window. And remember, you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Next, Sam Spade, then Betty Hutton on Theater Guild on NBC.
Hello, everybody. This is John Garfield. By way of wishing you all a very Merry Christmas, we of the Actors Company bring you an extra special holiday present. George Kaufman and Morse Hart's Broadway hit, The Man Who Came to Dinner, starring Jack Benny, Charles Boyer, Gene Kelly, Dorothy McGuire, Gregory Peck, and Rosalind Russell, with Henry Fonda as narrator, directed by Mel Ferrer.
Presenting the Hotpoint Holiday Hour. This is Marvin Miller speaking for Hotpoint, one of the world's great leaders in the development and manufacture of quality electrical appliances, who brings you Hollywood's distinguished Actors Company in The Man Who Came to Dinner, with warm-hearted wishes for a Merry Christmas, by more than 10,000 Hotpoint dealers and distributors, and the many thousands of employees who make and sell Hotpoint, America's fastest-growing line of electric appliances, all electric kitchens and home laundry equipment. And now, on with the Hotpoint Holiday Hour and The Man Who Came to Dinner. And now, transcribe your narrator, Henry Fonda.
Have you ever had a guest drop in at your house for dinner and stay for 2 weeks? I mean, aside from your relatives. There might be a better way to upset a household, but they haven't discovered one yet. Anyway, that's what our story is all about. Did you happen to see this week's Time magazine? Well, I got a copy here. Let me read it to you. Quote, caustic, Sheridan Whiteside, critic, lecturer, wit, radio orator, intimate friend of the great and near great, last week found his celebrated wit no weapon with which to combat a fractured hip. The luxury-loving Mr. Whiteside, trekking across the country on one of his annual lecture tours, met his Waterloo in the shape of a small piece of ice on the doorstep of Mr. and Mrs. Ernest Stanley of Mesilla, Ohio. Result, canceled lectures and disappointment to thousands of adoring club women in Omaha, Denver, and points west. Further result, the idol of the airways rests until further notice in the home of surprise Mr. and Mrs. Stanley. Possibility Christmas may be postponed this year.
Miss Green, is Mr. Whiteside coming out? Yes, Mrs. Stanley. We're getting his wheelchair ready.
Will somebody please get that phone?
Oh, dear. Sarah, see who's at the door while I answer the phone. Yes, ma'am. I'm coming. We need some pillows. Just a moment, Miss Green, until I answer the phone. Hello? Oh, yes, Mr. Whiteside is staying here.
Green, did you get the pillows?
Not yet, Dr. Bradley. I'm sorry, but we're very busy now. You'll have to call me later. Goodbye.
Miss Green, if the pillows aren't K-Pot, we'll have to get rubber foam. Mr. Whiteside doesn't like feathers.
It was the expressman again, Mrs. Stanley. 2 more boxes for Mr. Whiteside. A crate from Alaska. There's 2 penguins in it. And an octopus from William Beebe. Oh, and a piano came this morning from Arthur Rubinstein.
What about the pillows? We'll need at least 4 of them for the wheelchair.
Oh, yes, of course. Sarah, run upstairs and get 2 more pillows off Mr. Stanley's bed.
Please?
Yes, Dr. Bradley.
Mr. Whiteside wants a dozen bottles of Saratoga spring water, a copy of Bartlett's quotations, and a box of Pine Brothers cough drops.
Hello? Oh, hello, Clara. Yes, the phone's been going all day. Yes, I know. He just never goes to dinner anywhere. And then this had to happen. Poor Mr. Whiteside.
Daisy, will you please give me a moment of your attention?
Just a minute, Ernest, dear. I'm so sorry, Clara.
Daisy, I must get to the office.
I'll speak to you later, Clara. Goodbye.
Daisy, I'm sure it's a great honor, Sheridan Whiteside in our house, but it is a little upsetting. Phone going all the time, doorbell ringing, messengers.
Mrs. Sandy, have the cough drops come yet? Well, they're on their way, Miss Cutler. Oh, Ernest. This is Miss Cutler, Mr. Whiteside's secretary.
How do you do?
How do you do? May I move this chair? You mean he's coming out now?
He is indeed.
Oh, Sarah? Yes, ma'am. Mr. Whiteside's coming out. Oh, Ernest.
Well, here we are, merry and bright. Miss Green, we'll our little patient out. Mr. Whiteside,
These are your hosts.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Whiteside. I'm Mrs. Ernest Stanley, remember? And this is Mr. Stanley.
How do you do, Mr. Whiteside? I hope that you're better.
Thank you. I am suing you for $150,000.
You mean because you fell on our steps, Mr. Whiteside?
Jerry Giesler will explain it to you in court. And now, Mr. Stanley, I shall require the exclusive use of this room as well as that drafty sewer which you call the library.
What do you mean, sir?
My diction is excellent. I would suggest you have your ears blown.
Mr. Whiteside, if I may say...
You may not, sir.
I'll call you from the office later, Daisy.
Miss Stanley, here's the menu for lunch.
But I've already ordered lunch.
It will be sent up to you on a tray. I am using the dining room for my guests.
Oh, well, here, Sarah, prepare this menu for Mr. Whiteside. I'll have my lunch upstairs on a tray. Yes, ma'am.
Well, Mr. Whiteside, I think I can safely leave you in your secretary's capable hands. Shall I look in again this afternoon?
If you do, Dr. Bradley, I shall spit right in your eye.
Oh, what a sense of humor you writers have. By the way, Mr. Whiteside, I've written a book myself. It isn't really worth mentioning.
Then why mention it?
It's very comprehensive. I just happen to have a copy with me. It's called 40 Years an Ohio Doctor. I'll leave it here.
Yes.
It's only 2,000 pages. Will you read it?
I'll be glad to if I can lift it.
Now, keep that hip quiet and don't forget those little pills. Good day.
Maggie, will you take this 40 years in an iron lung or whatever it's called and put it in the fireplace?
Excuse me, but my name is Harriet Stanley. I know you are Sheridan Whiteside. I brought you this sprig of holly. I remember what you wrote about Kent and you, the obscure. It was the nicest present I could bring you. Goodbye.
For heaven's sake, what was that?
That? Oh, that was Mr. Stanley's sister, Harriet. I've talked to her a few times. She's quite strange.
Strange. She looks like something out of an Adams cartoon. You know, I've seen that face before somewhere.
Nonsense you couldn't have.
Oh, well, let's get down to work. What date is this?
December 10th.
Send a wire to William Paley, Columbia Broadcasting System. For a special New Year's Eve broadcast, we'll have as my guests Yasha Heifetz, Helen Hayes, Albert Einstein, the Lunts, and Maxie Rosenblum. Whiteside. Send a wire to Toscanini, counting on you January 4th, Metropolitan Opera House, for my annual benefit, Home for Parole Convicts. As you know, this is a very worthy cause and close to my heart. Tibbet, Pons, Pinza, and Margaret Truman have promised me personally to oppose. Will you have quiet supper with me and the Ritz brothers afterwards? Whiteside.
Excuse me, Mr. Whiteside.
Oh, the nurse. Now, what do you want, Miss Preem?
It's your pills. It's time to take them.
Well, don't come near me. Stay where you are and roll them over. If these people intend to have their friends using the front door...
What do you want them to use, a rope ladder?
I will not have a lot of gawking yokels rushing in and out of this house.
Oh, good morning.
There's nobody home. The Stanleys have been arrested for smuggling opium. Now go away.
Good morning, Mr. Whiteside. I'm Jefferson of the Massalia Journal.
Get rid of him.
I'm sorry, Mr. Whiteside is seeing no one.
Well, you know, if I'm going to be brushed off, I'd like it to be by Mr. Whiteside himself. I never did like carbon copies.
Not bad. And the Massalia, too.
Will you please leave, Mr. Washington?
It's Jefferson. How about an interview, Mr. Whiteside?
I never give them. And will you hand me that box of candy on your way out?
Here you are. The trouble is, Mr. Whiteside, that your being in this town comes under the heading of news, and my subscribers want their 2 cents worth.
Delicious candy. Pecan butternut fudge.
Mr. Whiteside, you mustn't eat candy, Mr. Whiteside. It's very bad for you.
Miss Preem, my great-aunt Jennifer ate a whole box of candy every day of her life. She lived to be 102, and after she was dead 3 days, she looked better than you do right now.
Really, Mr. Whiteside.
Well, I can at least report to my readers that chivalry is not yet dead.
We won't discuss it. I suppose you've written that novel.
No, I've written that play.
Well, I hope you don't expect me to read it.
Well, and how about a brief talk on famous murders? You're an authority on murder as a fine art.
My dear boy, when I talk about murder, I get paid for it.
All right. What do you think of Massalia? How long are you going to be here? Where are you going? Things like that.
Very well. A, Massalia is a town of irresistible charm. B, I cannot wait to get out of it. And C, I'm going from here to Crockfield for my annual visit to the Crockfield Home for Parole Convicts. Jefferson, did you ever hear how Crockfield started?
A couple of crooks got together and got crocked.
Sit down, This aging debutante, Mr. Jefferson, I retain in my employ only because she is the sole support of her two-headed brother.
I understand. Well, thanks a lot, Mr. Whiteside, for being so unpleasant. Oh, by the way, I'm a cribbage player if you need one while you're here.
Fine. How much can you afford to lose?
I usually win.
Well, we'll change that. Come back at 8:30. We'll play three-handed with Beatrice Fairfax.
Oh, Mr. Whiteside, there are three men here to see you. Two of them are wearing prison uniforms, and the other one has a rifle. Mr. Whiteside, I don't know who these men are, but I will not stand
Then
here.
go upstairs.
Oh.
Those are probably my luncheon guests. Jefferson, stay for lunch. Sarah, there'll be one more.
Hello, Mr. Whiteside. Well, I brought the boys.
Fine, Sheriff, fine. Maggie, take the sheriff's rifle and put it in the umbrella stand.
Well, I guess it'll be all right, as long as I keep the cuffs on them.
Lunch is ready, Mr. Whiteside.
Good. Let's go right in. Now, let me see if I can remember your name. You're Michelson, aren't you? Butcher shop murder?
Yes, sir.
Thought I recognized you. And you're Henderson, the hatchet fiend. Always chops them up in a salad bowl. That right? Isn't it?
That's right.
Gentlemen, I must apologize. We're just having chicken, livers, pepperzini, and cherry jubilee for dessert. I haven't got this kitchen organized yet.
Mr. Whiteside.
The chicken either.
No, Mr. Whiteside, those cuts.
Mr. Stanley, your presence is unwelcome. Here, serve the white wine with the fish, Sarah, and close the doors. I don't want a lot of people prying on their betters.
Whiteside, wake up.
What? Oh, it's you, Miss Stomach Pump. I was dreaming of Ava Gardner, and I wake to find you. Where's Miss Cutler?
She went out with Mr. Jefferson.
That's the fourth time this week.
Be quiet, Dave. Mr. Whiteside, I want to talk to you. I don't care whether you're busy or not. I've stood all that I'm going to stand.
Indeed.
This is the last straw. Look at this bill from the telephone company. $784. Oklahoma City, Calcutta, Hollywood, Rome, New York. Now, I realize, Mr. Whiteside, that you're a distinguished man of letters.
Yes, of course.
We both do.
Please. But in the past week, we've not been able to call our souls our own. We've not had a meal in the dining room once. I have to tiptoe out of the house in the morning.
Now, Ernest.
Convicts sit at my dinner table. Butcher shop murderers. And furthermore, I don't like coming home to find 22 Cherokee Indians using my bathroom.
For your information, Mr. Stanley, those 22 Cherokee Indians came straight from the White House, where I assure you they used the bathroom, too.
Mr. Whiteside, my husband didn't mean...
Yes, I did. I meant every word of it.
There's only one point that you make in which I see some slight justice. I do not expect you to pay for my telephone calls. Can you provide me with the exact amount?
I certainly can, and I certainly will.
Good. I shall instruct my lawyers to deduct it from the $150,000 that I am suing you for.
Come along, Daisy, before I lose control of myself.
And I'll thank you to stay out of here till I send for you, which I doubt.
Good evening, Terry. Really, you've got this room looking like an old parrot cage. Did you nap while I was out? What's the matter, dear? Can't run away with your tongue.
Now, don't look up at me with those big cow eyes, you moonstruck hag. Where have you been all afternoon? Smooching with Bert Jefferson?
Oh, Sherry. Bert read his play to me this afternoon. It's superb. It simply cries out for Catherine Cornell. Here, read it. And if you like it, will you send it to her, Sherry? And will you read it tonight?
No, I will not. And while we're on the subject of Mr. Jefferson, you might ask him if he wouldn't like to pay your salary, since he takes up all of your time.
Oh, Sherry, stop behaving like a spoiled child.
Will you stop acting like Zazu Pitts and explain yourself?
Well, I'll make it quick. Sherry, I'm in love.
Nonsense. This is merely delayed puberty.
No, Sherry. I'm afraid this is it. When you get out of that wheelchair and leave Massalia, I stay. You're going to lose a very excellent secretary.
I remain completely unconvinced. You are drugging yourself into this Joan Crawford fantasy, and I shall do everything in my power to bring you to your senses.
Now, you listen to me, Whiteside. I know you. I know what a devil you can be. I'm going to marry Bert if you'll have me, and don't you dare try any of your tricks. And now, if it meets with your approval, I'm going upstairs and wash my hands.
So Mr. Bert Jefferson turns out to be an Ohio Tennessee Williams. So his play is good enough for Catherine Cornell, eh? I'll fix that. Hello? Long distance, please. I want to make a transatlantic call. Hello, transatlantic operator? This is Messalia 142. I want to talk to Miss Lorraine Sheldon. 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 She's on the Queen Elizabeth. It sailed from Southampton day before yesterday. Will it take long? My name is Whiteside. Thank you.
Come in, Dr. Bradley.
Good evening, Sarah. Well, good evening, Mr. Whiteside.
Come back tomorrow, would you, Doctor? I'm busy.
Now, what would be the best news I could possibly bring you?
You have hydrophobia.
No. Mr. Whiteside, you are a well man. You can get up and walk now. You can leave here tomorrow.
What do you mean?
Well, sir, I looked at those x-rays again this morning, and do you know what? I'd been looking at the wrong x-ray. I had been looking at old Mrs. Moffat's x-rays. You are perfectly, absolutely well.
Lower your voice, will you?
Huh? What's the matter? Aren't you pleased?
Naturally. This is a very unexpected bit of news, however. Dr. Bradley, I have some good news for you, too. I've been reading your book, 40 Years, what is it?
An Ohio Doctor. Yes?
Well, I consider it extremely close to being one of the great literary contributions of our time.
Mr. Whiteside.
Dr. Bradley, I have a proposition to make to you. What I would like to do is to stay here in Messalia and work with you on this book.
Oh, Mr. Whiteside, I would be so terribly honored.
Thank you. But there's just one difficulty. You see, if my radio sponsors were to learn that I'm well, I would be forced to leave Messalia. Therefore, we must not tell anyone that I am well enough to get out of this wheelchair.
I see.
Not even my secretary, Miss Cutler. You understand?
Oh, yes. When do we start work? Tonight? I've just got one patient that's dying, and then I'll be perfectly free.
I'll see you tomorrow morning. This is a private call. Would you forgive me? Hello? Yes, I'm on. Tomorrow morning, Doctor.
Tomorrow morning it is. You've made me very proud, Mr. Whiteside. Good night.
Yes, this is Mr. Whiteside. Put him on. Hello, is this my Lorraine? Blossom girl, when did you land in New York? Tuesday? That's fine. Now, listen closely, my pet. I've discovered a play with a wonderful part in it for you. Now, wait, let me tell you. The author is a young newspaper man in this town. Of course, he wants Kathleen Cornell, but if you jump on a train and get right out here... No, he's young and very attractive. Just your dish. Isn't that exciting? Now, look, don't send me any messages. Just get on a train, drop in, and I'll act surprised. Good. Goodbye, my blossom.
Whiteside, time for your medicine.
Hello, Miss Preen. You're looking radiant this evening.
What? Mr. Whiteside, don't you feel well? Harry, I'm sorry for what I said before. I'm afraid I was a little unjust.
That's all right, Maggie. We all lose our tempers now and then.
I promised to have dinner with Bert and go to a movie, but we'll come back and play cribbage with you instead.
Fine. Take your time, Maggie. Enjoy yourself.
See you soon, Jerry, dear. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, darling. If there's a bigger louse than I am, I want to meet him.
In just a moment, Act 2 of The Man Who Came to Dinner. And now, a brief pause for station identification. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System. At Hotpoint, we're as old-fashioned in our ideas about Christmas as we are modern in our ideas about electric appliances. So instead of spending a lot of time describing our brilliant new line of Hotpoint quality appliances for 1950, we feel it's a good deal more appropriate to thank you for the way you've welcomed our appliances into your homes. and for the confidence you've placed in the name Hotpoint. It is, after all, your recognition of Hotpoint value which has made us one of the world's largest manufacturers in the appliance field. More people choose Hotpoint ranges, water heaters, and dishwashers than any other make. More than 5 times as many people are buying Hotpoint refrigerators today as in 1939. Also, there are more Hotpoint ranges in use than any other kind. And Hotpoint is the world's largest manufacturer of commercial electric cooking equipment for hospitals, naval craft, restaurants, and hotels. We sincerely believe all Hotpoint products you can buy today are the very finest that experience, research, superb craftsmanship, and engineering can produce. And now the second act of The Man Who Came to Dinner.
Hello? Will you get me Miss Lorraine Sheldon at the Mansion House, please? No, I don't know the number. I'm not Errol Flynn. Hello? Mansion House? This is Mr. Whiteside again. Has Miss Sheldon arrived yet? Hasn't, eh? Thank you. Nobody around. I wonder if I dare get up this wheelchair. Uh-oh, somebody's coming. Back in the saddle again.
Oh, Mr. Whiteside. He has a telegram for you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Excuse me, Mr. Whiteside. I'll answer the door.
Well, it's a wire from Monty Woolley. Oh, well.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I've come to see Mr. Whiteside. Will you tell him Miss Sheldon is here?
Lorraine, my blossom girl.
Jerry, my sweet old darling. Look at that poor, sweet, tortured face. Let me kiss it. Oh, you poor darling. Your eyes have a kind of gallant compassion. How drawn you are. Oh, Sherry, my sweet, I want to cry.
All right. You've made a very nice entrance. Now relax.
Oh, but Sherry, darling, I've been so worried. And now seeing you in that ghastly chair.
This wheelchair fits my curves beautifully. Now come out from behind that hat and tell me everything. You look a little like Hedda Hopper. How are you, my dear?
Oh, darling, I just dashed through New York. Didn't do a thing about Christmas. And London before that was magnificent, my dear. Well, I simply never got to bed at all, but not at all. I simply can't stop to tell you.
Well, why not start with the dirt first? That's what I want to hear. What about that fish face, the Marquis de la Roche? Haven't you hooked him yet?
Now, Sherry, please. Pierre is a very dear friend of mine.
Now, how, Blossom Girl, this is Sherry. Don't tell me you wouldn't like to be the Marquise de la Roche with $100,000 a year. By the way, is he still as wrinkled as ever? His neck reminds me of a convertible with the top halfway down.
Now, really. Pierre may not be young, but he's rather sweet, poor lamb. And he's very fond of me.
The Marquise de la Roche. Won't Kansas City be surprised?
Mr. Whiteside, did you get a chance to...
Not yet, Dr. Bradley. I'm busy.
Who's that?
He fixes the plumbing. Now, come on, Lorraine. I want more news.
But, Jerry, now, what about this play? I've been so excited ever since your phone call.
Well, here's the situation. This young newspaper man, Bert Jefferson, brought me the play with the understanding that I sent it to Kit Cornell. Now, that's fair warning. The rest is up to you.
Jerry, look. Bert has just given me the most heavenly... Oh, hello, Maggie. I knew you must be around somewhere. How are you, darling? Hello, Lorraine.
Isn't Bert with you? Oh, here he is. This is Bert Jefferson. Lorraine, young newspaper man.
Oh?
Miss Lorraine Sheldon.
How do you do, Miss Sheldon?
Jefferson. Why, Mr. Jefferson. You don't look like a newspaper man. You don't look like a newspaper man at all.
Oh, really? I thought it was written all over me.
Oh, no, not at all. I should have said you were, I don't know, a jet pilot or an explorer or something. They have that same kind of dash about them. I'm simply enchanted with your town, Mr. Jefferson. Tell me, have you lived here all your life?
Not yet.
If you wish to hear the story of his life, Lorraine, kindly do so on your own time. Maggie and I have work to do. Now get out of here, Jefferson. On your way, Blossom.
Oh, he's the world's rudest man, isn't he? Can I drop you, Mr. Jefferson? I'm going down to the mansion house, I think it's called.
Oh, thank you, but I've got my car. Suppose I drop you.
Oh, would you? That'd be lovely. We'll send the taxi off. I'll see you in a little while, Sherry. Bye, Maggie.
Goodbye, Mag. Am I invited back for dinner?
Yes, you are. At Christmas, I always feed the needy. Now, please stop oozing out. Get out.
Oh, come on now, Mr. Jefferson. I want to hear more about this charming little town of yours. And I want to hear a good deal more about you.
She's looking very well, isn't she?
What's that? Who?
That fox in mink. Quite a surprise, wasn't it? Her dropping in?
See who that is, will you, Maggie?
Oh, all right. Marcel!
Maggie, you look ravishing. You may kiss me.
Marcel! Come in here, you amorous ham, and gaze upon a soul in agony.
Now, please, don't tell me how you are, Sherry. I've only 10 minutes between trains, so the conversation will be entirely about me, and I shall love it. How are you, Sherry?
I'm fine, you love-bitten Latin. Now, how was the trip?
Wonderful. I've never given of myself so freely. By the way, did I not see that refugee from Reno, La Sheldon, as I came in?
You did indeed. Santa dropped a clinker down the chimney.
Dear Lorraine, she would flirt with a chimpanzee if she thought he had money. Sherry, my evil one, not only have I produced the finest comedy since Molière, but also the best review since my last one. I shall act in it, of course, for 8 weeks in Paris, 6 in New York. Then I leave for a trip to Bali to meet Simon. Now, Maggie, my sweet, why don't you desert this lump of tapioca and come with me?
Oh, Marcel, dear, be careful. You're catching me at a good moment.
Tell me, Monsieur Bouquet, did you have a good time in Hollywood? How long were you there?
3 unbelievable days. I saw everyone, from Colette Colbert to Gorgeous George. They came to me on their knees, as to a shrine. I was charming to them, of course, but I refused $7 million to star in a picture with Gertrude Lawrence and Lassie.
What about banjos? You see that maniac in Hollywood?
Oh, just for a moment. Then the place blew up. Mr. Whiteside?
No, not now, Doctor. Go away.
Are you hiding someone, Shirley?
Yes, Dr. Kinsey. Go ahead, Marcel. More dirt. What happened at Monte Carlo?
Well, I tell you, no one is playing roulette this season. Everyone is betting on Lorraine to marry the Marquis. Oh, Maggie, have you ever met the Marquis de la Roche?
No.
He sounds a little bit like this. oh, my chérie, we are alone at last. And you are so beautiful. Oh, smell the air. It's so invigorating. Actually, after I get over this attack, would you think me too forward if I kissed your hand?
That's the Marquis right down to his last week.
Oh, you're making it up, Marcel. No one sounds like that.
Oh, but you don't know Pierre.
Maggie, whoever that is, get rid of him.
Hello? Oh, hello, Bert. Oh, well, just a minute. Marcel, would you talk to a newspaper man just for 2 minutes? It would mean so much to him.
Surely the time is so short.
Well, then, would you see him at the station just before the train leaves, just for a minute?
All right, for you, yes.
Bert, go to the station and wait for him. He'll be there in a few minutes. Bye.
Well, I must go, Sherry. Hurry up and get out of that wheelchair. I'll see you in Paris.
Goodbye, Marcel. Give my regards to Simone.
Wait, Marcel. I'll walk to the door with you. Marcel, I'm in great trouble. I've fallen in love for the first time in my life, and Sherry's doing everything he can to break it up.
Oh, the old scoundrel. What's he doing?
Well, he's brought Lorraine here to smash it, and you know Lorraine. I've got to get her out of here. The farther away, the better, and you can do it for me.
But how? I'm leaving.
Well, let me explain a little idea I just got. When you get to the station...
Maggie. Where's Sherry?
In the library, working on his script.
Oh, of course, the Christmas Eve program. Oh, by the way, what time does Marcel get here? I'm not over anxious to meet him.
He's been and gone.
Oh.
Tell me, Lorraine, have you found a new play yet?
No, I haven't.
Did you know that Mr. Jefferson had written quite a good play? The young man that drove you to the hotel.
Oh, really? No, I didn't. Isn't that interesting?
Yes, isn't it? Oh, I'll get it. Hello? Yes? Miss Lorraine Sheldon?
Huh?
What? Why, yes, she's here. Here, there's a transatlantic call coming through for you, Lorraine.
Transatlantic for me? Here. What in the world?
It's from Monte Carlo.
Monte Carlo? Hello? Hello? Pierre! Why, what a surprise. How'd you know I was here? Darling, your asthma sounds worse. Well, you're wheezing. Oh, yes, I can hear you very clearly. It's as though you were just around the corner. Oh, I see. What? Oh, darling, you don't know how I've prayed for this Oh, darling, yes. Yes, 1,000 times, yes. Oh, dear, I'll take a plane right out of here and catch the next boat. What? Pierre, you're wheezing so. Yes, I love you, my darling. Oh, so much. Oh, you've made me the happiest girl in the world. Goodbye, darling, goodbye. Sherry!
What's all the yammering now?
Oh, Sherry, Pierre's just called me from Monte Carlo. He's asked me to marry him. Well, I've got to get right out there and catch the next boat.
Lorraine, are you going to toss away the best part of your career to marry that reasonable facsimile of an accordion?
Really, I haven't got time to argue. Now, Maggie, you must help me.
Why, I'd be delighted. I have a timetable right here for you. You can make a Friday sailing.
Oh, Maggie, darling, you are wonderful.
Lorraine, you're making a big mistake.
Oh, Maggie, what's the number of that hotel I'm at?
Mesania 32.
Mesania 32, please.
Oh, look out the window, Sherry. It's starting to snow. Isn't that wonderful? Oh, I never felt more like Christmas in my life. Don't you, Sherry, dear?
Shut your nasty little face.
Give me my room, will you please? Oh, Cosette. Now, listen carefully, Cosette. We're leaving here tonight by plane and sailing Friday for Monte Carlo. Now, I want you to send 3 cables for me. Ready? The first one goes to Lord and Lady Cunard. My darlings, returning Friday. Pierre and I, being married immediately on arrival, wanted you to be the first to know. Love, Lorraine. Now, send the same message to Picasso, General de Gaulle, the Marchioness de Velmay, and my mother in Kansas City. You got that? Now, you'll have to rush, Cosette. I'll be at the hotel in about half an hour, so be ready. Bye. Oh, well, life is just full of surprises, isn't it? Now, who would have thought an hour ago that I'd be on my way to Monte Carlo?
Hello, everybody. Say, do you know it's snowing out? We're going to have a real old-fashioned Christmas.
Why don't you telephone your scoop to Luella Parsons?
Bert, Miss Sheldon has to catch a plane tonight from Toledo. Can we drive over, you and I?
Why, certainly. Oh, sorry you have to go, Miss Sheldon. No bad news, I hope?
Oh, on the contrary. Very good news. Wonderful news.
Oh, good. I got some pretty good news myself. A 2-minute interview with Marcel Duval at the station. You're right, Mr. Whiteside. He's quite a boy.
Oh, Sherry, I almost forgot. Have you seen this bracelet Bert gave me for Christmas? Isn't it beautiful?
Ducky.
I was lucky to get even 2 minutes with Duval. He was in a telephone booth most of the time. I couldn't hear what he was saying, but from the face he was making, it looked like a scene from one of his plays.
And look at the inscription here.
Just a minute. Jefferson, Mr. Duval was in a telephone booth at the station?
Yeah, it certainly was. I thought he'd never come out. He kept wheezing, making the funniest faces for about 5 minutes.
Bert, will you mix some cocktails? I think I'm going to need a drink.
Fine, I'll be back in a jiffy. I've got a new recipe for martinis that'll really open your eyes.
They're already open. Lorraine, my blossom, hand me the phone.
Here, Sherry.
Operator, has there been a call from Monte Carlo over this telephone within the past half hour? Yes, I'll wait.
Sherry, what is this?
What's that? There have been no calls from Monte Carlo for the past week? Thank you. Now, will you repeat that, please? Lorraine, hold this receiver to your shell-like ear. Hear that, dear?
Yes.
Thank you, operator, and a Merry Christmas.
Sherry, now what is all this? What's going on? What does this mean?
Lorraine, you have just played the greatest love scene of your career with your old friend Marcel Duval.
Now, Sherry, stop it. I want this thing explained.
Explained? You heard the operator, my pet. All I can tell you is that Marcel was indulging in one of his famous imitations, that's all. You've heard him do Pierre before, haven't you?
Yes, of course, but why should he want to do such a thing? Oh, those tables.
Now, steady, my blossom.
Well,
Take it easy.
Steady. Do you realize that I'll be the laughing stock of Europe? I always knew that Marcel Duval was a stinker. Well, why would he try to ship me over to Monte Carlo like that on a fool's errand?
Cocktails are ready. Only 10 to a customer.
Oh, I think I begin to... Of course, that's it. Of course, that's it. Mr. Jefferson, that's a very charming bracelet you gave Maggie, isn't it, Maggie, dear? If I were you, I'd hang on to that bracelet, dear. It'll be something to remember him by.
Well, you're still here, Miss Sheldon? I thought you were leaving.
I've changed my plans. Wild horses couldn't drag me out of here now.
Really? Well, good.
And I hear you have written a simply marvelous play, Mr. Jefferson. I want you to read it to me tonight. Will you? We'll go right back to the mansion house now, and you'll read me your play.
Well, I should say so. I'd be delighted. Maggie, did you hear that? Come on, Miss Sheldon. Let's have at it.
Yes, let's have at it.
See you later, Maggie.
Oh, Maggie, this would be a good time for me to go over my radio script. Where is it?
On the table.
Oh, yes, thank you. Let's see this now.
Larry, I think you're the meanest man I've ever met.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Whiteside speaking. On this eve of eves, when my own heart is overflowing with peace and kindness,
The most contemptible...
I would like to tell you the story of Elias P. Crosby.
Stop slow.
Over the years, the name Hotpoint has become one of the most valued among electric appliances. The reason is best expressed in our slogan. You can look to Hotpoint for the finest first. And that's certainly no idle statement. 45 years ago, for example, we built the very first electric range. Last year, Hotpoint was first again with a great new contribution to cooking ease and convenience. Hotpoint push-button cooking. We pioneered and perfected the electric dishwasher, too, and still lead the field with the only front-opening automatic dishwasher that has Calrod electric drying and a tabletop. Hotpoint was also first to dream of all-electric kitchens and laundry. We've made scores of other important advancements throughout our entire line of Hotpoint quality electric ranges, refrigerators, food freezers, dishwashers, disposalls, water heaters, automatic washing machines, dryers, ironers, and matched kitchen cabinets. In fact, not only ours, but all makes of electric appliances are better today because of Hotpoint's pioneering and leadership. Right now, more than ever before, it pays to look to Hotpoint for the finest first. And now for Act 3 of The Man Who Came to Dinner.
Miss Preen, prune face.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Where do you disappear to all the time, my lady nausea?
Mr. Whiteside, I can only be in one place at a time.
That is very fortunate for this community. Now go away and take this medicine with you. You remind me of last week's laundry.
I'm taking the 1 o'clock train, Sherry. I'm leaving.
Just a moment, Betty Davis. What are you trying to do? Honestly, Maggie, sometimes you can be very annoying.
You know, you're quite wonderful, Sherry, in a way. You're annoyed. Shall I tell you something? I think you're a selfish, petty egomaniac, and I was a fool for ever thinking I could trust you.
Well, as long as I live, I shall never do anyone a good turn again. I won't ask you to apologize, Maggie, but 6 months from now, you will be thanking me.
In 6 months, Sherry, I expect to be so far away from you, you couldn't find me with radar.
Merry Christmas, Maggie. Hi, Mr. Whiteside. Maggie, I've been calling you all evening. Why didn't you pick up the phone?
Well, I didn't feel up to it. How'd you hit it off with Madame Dubarry?
Miss Sheldon, well, she says the play needs just a little fixing. We could do it in 3 weeks. She thinks we ought to go to New York together and work on it.
Oh?
Well, Maggie, won't you say something?
I'm just too happy for words.
Look, Bert, why don't you...
Mr. Whiteside.
Uh-oh, Dr. Jekyll again.
Mr. Whiteside, I thought perhaps if I came very early, we could talk about my book.
Dr. Bradley, I'm starting that diet you put me on. Would you fix me 2 poached eggs on rye crisp and eat it yourself?
Yes, of course.
Come on, Doc. I'll buy you breakfast. See you later, Maggie.
Now, listen to me, Maggie. I'm willing to forgive your silly outburst and talk about this calmly.
I love him.
Oh, Sherry. Sherry, why did you do it? Well, I'd better go upstairs and finish packing. Merry Christmas, Mr. Whiteside.
Huh? Oh, Merry Christmas, Miss Stanley.
I'm afraid I shouldn't be seen talking to you, Mr. Whiteside. My brother is terribly angry,
but I just couldn't resist asking. Did you like my Christmas present?
Yes, it was very thoughtful of you, Miss Stanley. I'm fond of these old photographs. Thank you so much.
I was 22 when that was taken. That was my favorite dress. Well, I'd better go back to my room before I'm seen. Goodbye. Goodbye.
What is there about her face? So familiar. Miss Preen! Miss Preen!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Answer the door, will you?
Aha! A female! Come in, Doctor. You're the first woman I've seen in 20 minutes. Oh, I love you. I love you madly. Here, kiss me. Kiss me again. Don't be afraid of my passion. I can feel the hot blood pounding through your veins.
Banjo!
Whiteside, how are you, Whiteside? Will you please pay for this package?
Put that woman down, Banjo. That's my nurse, Miss Bedtray. Banjo, you reformed school fugitive. How'd you get here anyway?
Jerry Wald loaned me his reindeer. Whiteside, we finished shooting the picture yesterday, and I'm on the way to Nova Scotia.
What?
Flew here in 12 hours. Borrowed a plane from Howard Hughes. Whiteside, I brought you a wonderful Christmas present. Here. This girdle was once worn by Dolores Del Rio.
Hey, listen, you idiot. How long can you stay?
Just long enough to take a bath. I'm on the way to Nova Scotia. Where's Maggie?
Nova Scotia? What are you going to Nova Scotia for?
I'm sick of Hollywood. Besides, there's a dame in New York I don't want to see, so I figured I'd go to Nova Scotia and get some smoked salmon. Where's Maggie?
Upstairs in her room.
I'm going up and see her. If I'm not back in half an hour, come up and save me.
Banjo, I'm very annoyed at Maggie. After all these years, she's repaying my affection by behaving like Stella Dallas.
What are you talking about?
How was I supposed to know that she was really in love with him?
In love with who? I just got here, remember?
I'm telling you, you Hollywood nitwit. A young newspaper man here in town.
Maggie finally fell. Well, what do you know?
So, Lorraine Sheldon happened to come out here and visit me.
Tiger Lil here?
Yep. And this young fellow has written a play. You can guess the rest. He's going to New York with Lorraine to rewrite.
Oh. Say, wait a minute. What do you mean Lorraine Sheldon happened to come out here? Sherry, I smell a rat. A rat in a wheelchair.
Well, all right, but I did it for Maggie. I thought it was the right thing for her.
Oh, sure, you haven't thought of yourself in years.
Oh, Mr. Whiteside, I have some cookies here for you.
Thank you. Not bad.
But they're welcome, Mr. Whiteside.
Never mind, Sarah. He's crazy.
And hungry. Come, Petrushka. We will dance in the snow until all St. Petersburg is aflame with jealousy. Come to the kitchen with me.
Mr. Whiteside, I am quitting. My address is on the desk inside. You can send me a check.
Do you realize, Miss Preen, that this is completely unprofessional?
I do indeed. I am not only walking out on this case, Mr. Whiteside. I am leaving the nursing profession. From now on, anything that I can do to help exterminate the human race will fill me with the greatest of pleasure.
Well, you can start with yourself first. Good day.
Good day.
Mr. Whiteside.
Now, what do you want, Stanley?
Come in, Sheriff. Yes, sir. Mr. Whiteside, this gentleman is the deputy sheriff. If you're not out of this house in 15 minutes, he will forcibly eject you, baggage, wheelchair, penguins, and octopus. I am now going upstairs to smash our radio, so that not even accidentally will I ever hear your voice again.
You can't miss it today. Sure you don't want my autograph, old fellow?
15 minutes, Mr. Whiteside. Sarah, you are magnificent. Fly with me to Valhalla. I will build you a restaurant, and we'll barbecue Duncan Hines. Anything new, Whiteside?
No, Banjo. Maggie's taking the 1 o'clock train out, and I have exactly 15 minutes in which to pull out of my hat the biggest rabbit you've ever seen.
What do you mean, 15 minutes?
My host has sworn out a warrant. I'm being kicked out. Open the door, Sarah. Probably some mustard gas from Kaufman and Hart.
Yes, sir. Oh, good morning. Is Mr. Whiteside up yet? Yes, Miss Sheridan.
Oh.
Merry Christmas, darling. Bert's day is magnificent. I've come here to have Christmas breakfast with you. Oh, Banjo. What a surprise.
How are you?
I'm fine, Lorraine, fine. How's the husband business?
Very funny, very funny. It's too bad, Banjo, that your picture's not as funny as you seem to think you are.
Lorraine, how can you say such things when you know I'm mad for you? Mad, 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 you hear? M-A-D-E, mad. Let me take you out of all this and back to the stockyard. Think of anything yet, Whiteside?
Yeah, suicide.
What time does the boat sail?
10 minutes.
What boat is this?
The good ship up the creek.
Oh, dear, that's probably Bert. I told him to meet me here.
Whiteside, American Express.
Right this way, please. Oh, why, Sherry, what's that? Why, it's an Egyptian mummy case.
There's one thing I need right now. It's an Egyptian mummy case.
Hey, there's a tag on it. It says, Merry Christmas from the King of Egypt. What'd you send him, Sidney Greenstreet?
8 minutes, Mr. Whiteside, including that mummy case.
Why, what's that all about? Who is that man?
He announces the time every few minutes. I pay him a small sum.
Oh, but what on earth for, Sherry?
I lost my watch.
Oh, you know, Sherry, I think this mummy case is rather beautiful. Just think, Cleopatra might be in one just like that. A woman like myself.
But not as cold.
A woman who once lived in love, full of the same passion, fears, jealousy, hates. And what remains?
Lydia Pinkham?
Just this case and nothing more. That's all that remains. Oh, I'd like to open it and stand inside.
Yes, Banjo, yes.
Here, Lorraine, I'll open it for you. Here, try it on for size.
Here I am, another woman living out her life. I want to cry.
Lorraine, have you ever played Cleopatra?
No, Sherry, I haven't. What makes you ask that?
There was something about you. You stood next to that case. It transcended any mortal expression I've ever seen.
Oh.
Yeah, it certainly did. Whiteside, what does transcended mean?
Quiet, Banjo.
Oh, now, Sherry, you're just joshing me, aren't you?
My dear, I wouldn't make light of these things. I am deeply moved. There's a strange beauty about you, Lorraine. Pure Van Gogh. I would love to see you in that mummy case.
I feel too silly, Sherry.
Lorraine, at this moment, you've shown me rare beauty. You asked me a little while ago what I wanted for Christmas.
The two front seats?
Quiet. All that I want, Lorraine, is the memory of you in that mummy case.
Oh, my darling, I'm all choked up. All right, I'll do it.
Here, Lorraine, let me. There.
Here, I'm in.
Well, stay there.
Touchdown.
I'll kick the extra point.
Will she be all right in there?
Sure, I'll punch a couple of holes in her so she can breathe. I'll let her out as soon as we get on the plane. Wait a minute. How do we get this mummy case out of here?
Now, one thing at a time. That's the next step.
Well, think fast, Captain Hornblower. Think fast.
Banjo, I've got it.
I hope it's not catching.
Mr. Stanley's sister. I finally remembered that face.
If it was me, I'd have forgotten it long ago.
I knew I'd remember.
The time is up, Mr. Whiteside. 15 minutes.
Ah, yes, Mr. Stanley, 15 minutes. Will you do me a slight favor before I go?
I certainly will not.
Oh, I think you will, Mr. Stanley. Or shall I inform my radio audience that your sister, Harriet Stanley, is none other than the famous Harriet Sedley, who murdered her mother and father with an axe 25 years ago.
Mr. Whiteside, how did you find that out?
Now, Mr. Stanley, how would you like to have the good people of Massalia repeating that once popular little jingle? Harriet Sedley took an axe and gave her mother 40 whacks. And when the job was nicely done, she gave her father 41.
You win, Mr. Whiteside. What do you want me to do?
Oh, Sheriff, will you come in here, please?
Whiteside, you're a great man, and I despise myself for admitting it. You call, sir?
Come right in, Sheriff. Mr. Stanley, would you like to help this gentleman down to the airport with this mummy case? He's sending it to a friend in Nova Scotia.
They can't get good mummies up there.
Right, Mr. Stanley?
Yes.
Sheriff, handle that case carefully. Banjo, you're wonderful. I may write a book about you.
Don't bother. I can't read.
What now?
Don't drop that case, Sheriff. It's loaded. Goodbye, Maggie. And Maggie, don't worry about Lorraine. She just stepped out of the country for a minute.
Sherry! Sherry, was that...
It was indeed. Bert is all yours, and you have my blessing.
Oh, Sherry. Banjo, you're wonderful.
Maggie, get me my hat and coat. I'm leaving.
Come on, Whiteside. I'll drop you at the airport.
Oh, you're leaving, but Sherry, you're here. But where are you going?
Arthur Murray's for a rumba lesson. Don't argue. Do as you're told.
Yes, sir, Mr. Whiteside. I'll get to...
Come on, Whiteside. Hurry up. Before I go to Nova Scotia, I want to stop off at Lindy's for some rye bread.
All right, Banjo. All right.
Mr. Whiteside, you're walking.
Yep, I'm back in shape again, Bert. There's been a slight change of plan. I'm taking your play to Kathleen Cornell. Maggie will explain everything.
Oh, hello, Bert.
Hi, Maggie. Well, I don't have to go to New York. Can you stand it?
Oh, I think so.
Whiteside, drop a cage over these two lovebirds, will you? And come on, we can't keep the salmon waiting.
Mr. Whiteside, are you very busy?
Yes, Dr. Bradley, very. But if you ever come to New York, try and find me. Goodbye, Maggie, my lamb. I love you very much.
Sherry, you're wonderful.
Don't tell him he knows it.
Goodbye, Jefferson. You'll never know the trouble you've caused.
Goodbye. I'll walk you to the door.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Sarah.
Goodbye, Mr. Whiteside.
Look out for the milk bottle.
Oh, what was that?
Maggie, get the wheelchair. Call the nurse. Where's the doctor?
Poor Mr. Whiteside. He slipped on the milk bottle and set right down again. Mr. Jefferson is coming.
Miss Green! Miss Green! I want Miss Green back. Mr. Stanley, I am suing you for $300,000.
Entertained in this are Jack Benny as Fred and Whiteside, Charles Boyer as Marcel Duval, Dean Kelly as Banjo, Dorothy McGuire as Maggie, Gregory Peck as Bert Jefferson, and Rosalind Russell as Lorraine Sheldon. Also heard in the cast were Edith Ann Gold, Eleanor Audley, Lee Benaderet, Lois Corbett, Willard Waterman, and Roland Winters. Music was composed, arranged, and conducted by Lee Harleen. Our play was adapted for radio by Hugh Wedlock Jr. and Howard Snyder, and was produced and directed by Mel Ferrer. This is John Garfield on behalf of the Actors Company. Thanks for listening, and Merry Christmas.
Doctors prove the Palmolive plan brings 2 out of 3 women lovelier complexions in 14 days. For the Palmolive plan was tested on women with all types of skin. Dry, oily, even skin that was not clear. Yes, regardless of age, type of skin, or previous beauty care, 36 doctors proved the 14-day Palmolive plan brings fresher, brighter, younger-looking complexions. So get Palmolive soap and start your 14-day Palmolive plan now.
Gentlemen, Dennis Day.
Oh, that makes life seem worthwhile. Dwells in your eyes and must have your smile.
Dennis Day is brought to you by Colgate Dental Cream and Luster Cream Shampoo. Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth. Luster Cream Shampoo for soft, glamorous dream girl hair. The Dennis Day Show with Barbara Eiler, Lee Benaderet, Dink Trout, Charles Dant in the orchestra, and yours truly, Vern Smith, is written by Frank Galen and stars our popular young singer in A Day in the Life of Dennis Day. Here's Dennis to sing There Ought to Be a Society.
There ought to be a society for the prevention of cruelty to poor unfortunate lovers. Poor unfortunate lovers. Poor unfortunate lovers like me. There ought to be a society for the extension of sympathy to poor
Poor unfortunate lovers, poor unfortunate lovers, poor unfortunate lovers like me. If you beat up a dog or a cat, you go to jail for the maximum penalty. They got protection laws for the dumb animals, but nobody cares about me when I get beat. So I repeat, there ought to be a society for the prevention of cruelty to poor unfortunate lovers, poor unfortunate lovers, poor unfortunate lovers like me. When you go for a walk in the zoo, you never try for to beat up the chimpanzee. They got the iron cage and the keeper to boot. The monkey is better than me. He grinned at me. Say he agreed. There ought to be a society for the prevention of cruelty to poor unfortunate lovers. Poor unfortunate lovers. Poor unfortunate lovers like me.
Colgate Dental Cream cleans your breath while it cleans your teeth.
No other toothpaste does a better job of cleaning teeth than Colgate Dental Cream. For Colgate Dental Cream has a safe polishing agent that cleans your teeth both gently and thoroughly, brings out their natural sparkle and beauty. You can actually see and feel the difference.
And scientific tests prove that Colgate Dental Cream cleans your breath while it cleans your teeth. Yes, actual scientific tests prove conclusively that in 7 out of 10 cases, Colgate instantly stops unpleasing breath that originates in the mouth.
Colgate Dental Cream is famous for its wonderful wake-up flavor, too. Nationwide tests of leading toothpastes prove that Colgate's is preferred for flavor over every other brand tested. Yes, preferred over every other brand tested.
And no wonder, for Colgate Dental Cream is the result of constant effort to produce the finest toothpaste in the world today. For cleaning teeth, for flavor, for sweetening breath.
So see if you don't agree with the millions who have made Colgate Dental Cream America's favorite toothpaste. Try Colgate Dental Cream to bring out the natural sparkle and beauty of your teeth. For a wake-up flavor you'll thoroughly enjoy.
And always use Colgate Dental Cream after you eat and before every date to clean your breath while you clean your teeth. Well, as you needn't be told, there are numerous ways for people to get into trouble. Some folks go out looking for it. Others can see it coming but can't avoid it. And still others fall into it unconsciously. It's to this third or unconscious group that our young hero Dennis Day belongs, which is only reasonable considering the head start he has. Now, take what happened to him yesterday morning, for instance. He was walking down Oak Street quite unconcernedly, minding his own business, when suddenly...
Good morning, young man.
Good morning.
I'm the inquiring reporter of the Weaverville Bugle, and I'd like to ask you a question for my column. Do you mind?
Well, no, not if I can.
Good. What's your name and address?
Dennis Day, 324 Elm Street. Gee, I thought it was going to be tougher than that.
That isn't the question, my boy. What I want to know is your opinion of women.
Women?
Yes. Do you think the women of today are prepared for motherhood?
Gee, I hope so. If they're not, I don't know who to tell to get ready.
No, you don't understand, sir. I'm looking for a good, controversial statement on the subject of women.
Oh.
Now, do you happen to be in love with more than one woman?
Me? Of course not.
That's what I want. I have no love for the overwhelming majority of women, says Mr. Dennis Day of 324 Elm Street.
Hey, wait.
What's a little housework, cooking, washing, and baby-minding, continues Mr. Day. It's the men who do the real work in this world. Women should get down on their knees to them.
But all I...
What a statement. Mr. Day, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Well, maybe we still have time to put them back in. You're not going to print this, are you?
Well, I'm only quoting what you said, Mr. Day. Tell me, do you think women have good reasons for always whining and complaining?
But they don't.
Women have no good reasons for always whining and complaining.
Now, look, mister,
Do you know why women should be treated as your equals, Mr. Day?
No, why?
Dennis Day doesn't know why women should be treated as...
Mister, please, you can't do this to me.
Why not? You believe the man should be the head of the family, don't you?
Well, yes, but
You think if a man asks his wife a civil question, she should answer him, don't you?
Well, sure.
Attaboy. Women should speak when they're spoken to, says Mr. Now you're talking.
I must be doing it in code.
Mr. Day, I congratulate you. There isn't one man in 1,000 who'd come out and say the things you have.
Including me. Everything I say, you twist around. I demand that you print my exact words.
Well, all right. If that's the way you feel, I'll use a direct quotation from you for my lead line. Do you wear perfume, Mr. Day?
Perfume? Of course not.
Why not?
Well, it makes a person smell.
Well, women wear it, don't they?
Well, sure, but...
Wonderful. Goodbye, and thank you for a great lead line.
What lead line?
Dennis Day says women smell.
Boy, what happened?
So back our hero slunk to the Anderson boarding house, where he knew it was the better part of valor to say nothing of his interview, especially to his landlady, Mrs. Anderson, and his girlfriend, Mildred. But he also knew what would happen when the paper came out the following morning, and sure enough, just after he had risen...
Oh, my golly, here it comes. Oh, it's you, Mr. Anderson.
Dennis, you doll face, you dreamboat, you joy boy.
Huh?
This article of yours in the paper. This Emancipation Proclamation for husbands. Women should not be treated as equals. They should get down on their knees to the men. Where'd you ever get such magnificent ideas?
Gee, I don't know, but every time that reporter opened his mouth, I seem to have another one.
You're a hero, my boy. Why, there isn't a husband in this whole town who doesn't feel like a different man toward his wife this morning.
Gee, even you? Wow.
Why, I've had 5 phone calls from friends this morning, and they all feel like I do. My boy, this could develop into a crusade.
You mean we men are going to demand equal rights with women?
Dennis, please. I said we were crusaders, not radicals.
Oh, beg pardon.
But there's a feeling inside me this morning that I never had before, and I wouldn't be surprised but what it's courage.
Courage?
Certainly seems to be, from the descriptions I've read of it.
Oh, gosh, Mr. Anderson, how are the women going to take this... Oh, jiggers, here comes your wife. Good morning, Mrs. Anderson.
Don't you good morning me, Dennis Day. Are you responsible for this article in the newspaper?
You're darn right he's responsible. You want to make something out of it?
Herbert Anderson, are you addressing me?
Well, I ain't addressing John L. Lewis, kiddo. It's about time you women learned a little respect for us men. You understand?
Why, yes, Herbert.
Good. Now drag those big feet of yours to the stove and get me some breakfast.
Yes, of course, lover.
See what my friend wants here, too.
I should cook breakfast for Dennis Day over my dead body.
Look out, kiddo. That can be arranged.
Yes, Herbert. What would you like, Dennis?
Gee, Mrs. Anderson, ma'am,
Dennis, stop fumbling around. Climb on the bandwagon. Enjoy.
Okay, I'd like a couple of 3-minute eggs.
Very well.
And make it fast, understand? I want you back here with them in 2 minutes.
Very well, Poopsie.
Oh, my gosh, it's the millennium.
Didn't I tell you? It's that interview. All over town, men are acting just like me. Son, we owe you a debt of gratitude we can never repay.
Gee, imagine. Why, I had no idea. I never...
So there you are, Dennis Day.
Oh, hello, Mildred.
Don't you even speak to me, you man, you.
Dennis, did you hear what she called you?
Yeah, even I've been promoted.
I suppose you think you're pretty smart, don't you? You and your interview.
Up and at her, Dennis. Remember, this is the revolution.
Yeah, watch your tone, Mildred Anderson. Just remember your sex. Your party is no longer in power.
What?
Turn in your belt, kiddo. You're not wearing the pants anymore.
note, isn't it? Very well, Mr. Day. I only spoke to you at all because I had this note for you. Here, and goodbye.
Attaboy, Dennis. Keep women at a distance. That's our motto.
Gee, I don't know. Do you think we'll enjoy them just as fully that way?
More. Well, now, who's the note from? Aren't you going to open it?
Huh? Oh, yeah, of course. Gee, it's from some man I don't even know. Dear Mr. Day, read what you said about women in this morning's paper. If you are still alive when this letter reaches you, I have a job open for you. But if you are not available, at least send me your autograph. Sincerely yours, H.R. Norwood, owner of the Bonton Shoe Store. Wow, isn't that great, Mr. Anderson? I'll go see him right away.
Didn't I tell you, my boy? You're a hero. You finally become a name in this town.
Oh, I always was. But at last I'm becoming one you can say in polite company. Pardon me, Mr. H.R. Norwood?
Yes?
I'm Dennis Day. You wrote me a letter?
Oh, I did. Sit down, Mr. Day, sit down. My goodness, let me look at you. So you're the boy who said all those glorious things about the opposite, if you'll pardon the expression, sex.
Yes, sir. I guess I am.
Oh, my goodness. I never met a man with your courage in my life. I just never did, that's all. No! I give you my word. When I read your article, my hair just stood on, if you'll pardon the expression, end.
Gee.
What courage, I said to myself. What courage. What courage. What courage.
You're hard of hearing?
No. I just repeat things once in a while. Now, well, I suppose you're wondering about the job I mentioned.
Oh, yes, sir, I am.
Well, good. Well, you see, I sell shoes here, women's shoes. You know why?
No, why?
I hate women.
Then why do you sell women's shoes?
Could you think of a better revenge on them?
Oh, no, sir, but where do I come in?
Oh, I can see you've never waited on a woman in a shoe store, my boy. Box after box you pull down from the shelf, and still they're not satisfied. This one's the wrong color, that one's the wrong style, these don't fit. Up the ladder, down the bed. Oh. By noon, I am such a nervous wreck that you can hear me puff, and if you'll pardon the expression, pant all over the place.
It does sound kind of wearing.
Oh, yes, but it won't be for you. Oh, no. You'll make them buy the shoes they ought to have, and right away.
Me?
Well, certainly. You're not afraid of women. You will, if you'll pardon the expression, gird up your, if you'll pardon the expression, loins and fight.
But, Mr. Norwood,
Now, the pay on this job, I might add, is excellent.
The pay? How much is it?
Well, it used to be $22 a week, but I'll take her.
$22 a week? Boy, that's the best offer I ever had.
Well, in that case, the dickering is over. Now, is it a deal, my boy?
Gee, how can I turn it down?
Oh, good lad. Now, all you have to do... Oh, good gravy. Here comes the customer. Now, go to work, my boy.
Gosh, already?
Don't you worry. This is one of the sweetest customers we have. Good morning, Mrs. Harris.
Good morning.
Welcome, dear lady. My clerk will take excellent care of you, I am sure.
Very well. I'd like a pair of black pumps, young man.
Sit down.
What?
You heard me. Squat. Now, what size do you take, Fatso?
Why, the ones I have on are 3.5, AAA.
And these will be just your size. Here, 8B.
8B? Why, I never.
I know, and it's about time you started. Here's the shoes. Now, give me the money.
But
Come on, give me the money.
Yes, of course. Here.
Oh, good boy, Dennis. I knew you could do it. I knew you weren't scared of any woman, whoever you... Oh, my goodness gracious me. The boy's fainted.
We'll continue this day in the life of Dennis Day in just a moment. Meanwhile, here's Dennis to sing You Were Meant for Me.
You were meant for me. I was meant for you. latest melody that never let me free. For I'm content the angels must have sent you, and they made you just for me. You were meant for me, for I'm content the angels must have sent you, and they made you just for me.
Well, Dennis certainly charted something when he allowed himself to be quoted by an inquiring reporter to the effect that women have a cinch and that the men do all the work. To the men, of course, he's a hero, but to the women, well, let's listen to a meeting of the distaff side now taking place at the Anderson boarding house.
Dennis actually talked to you that way, Mrs. Harris? Why, I can hardly believe it.
Since that interview of his appeared, all the men are talking that way.
I'll say they are. Do you know what your father said to me this morning, Mildred?
What?
He told me to shut my big mouth before he kicked it shut. Why, he hasn't spoken to me like that since I fell off a horse in 1922 and had both arms in a cast.
Well, now, something's got to be done. Why don't we show the men how easy our job is? Let them do what we've been doing for a while, and we'll lead the lives they've been leading.
Oh, golly, Mrs. Harris, that sounds wonderful.
Not to me, it doesn't. I'd have to go back to doing the housework around here.
But not the cooking, Mother. Oh, I think it's a marvelous idea. We'll call every woman in town and get them started right away.
Yes. Let's see how the men like doing women's work for a change.
And it'll certainly be fun for us doing what the men do.
Yes, I've got a slight head start.
A head start?
Sure. I've been enjoying my husband's cigars for years now.
How's the dinner coming, Dennis?
All right, I guess. Gee, Mr. Anderson, wasn't it kind of peculiar, your wife leaving a note saying she and Mildred wouldn't be home for supper, and if we wanted any, we should cook it ourselves?
Well, it is a little peculiar, but we'll show them that we can cook just as good a dinner as they can. Did you taste that soup yet, Dennis?
Yeah. The soup over here in this pot is cooler, but it tastes better, I think.
That's the dishwater from lunch.
Oh.
Are the baked potatoes nearly ready?
Mashed potatoes.
I thought you said we were going to have baked potatoes.
We were, but they fell on the floor and I stepped on them by mistake.
Oh, well. Say, do you suppose those steaks of mine are done by now?
Well, how long have you had them on?
Well, let's see. It's 8:15. About an hour.
Oh, give them a little longer. We don't want them raw.
No, I guess not. Did you take a look at those muffins?
No, I guess I better.
Yeah, we got to watch them. I don't like them dark brown.
How do you feel about jet black?
My, I'm glad Pooksy didn't see those. Take them out, Dennis.
Okay.
Dear, dear. Well, now, don't you worry. We'll show those women that us men can take over.
You bet we will.
Sure. Why not? Men can do anything that women can do.
Darn right they can. Oh, say, isn't that someone coming up the walk, Mr. Anderson?
Well, yes, so it is. It's Mr. Harris. Why, good heavens, he's carrying a baby.
Gee, you don't suppose he... Oh, of course not. I'll let him in. Hello, Mr. Harris.
Gee, fellas, look what I had.
What?
To take care of.
Oh.
Well, my wife and daughter went out and left him with me. Got kind of lonely. He's only 4 months old and doesn't say much. So I came over here for some company.
Well, good. So you're just in time for dinner. I'll have it on the table in a jiffy.
Gee, you're lucky the little fella's sleeping so nice and peacefully, Mr. Harris. Most babies don't, you know.
Yeah, I know. But I gave this one a little shot of whiskey before we... Worked fine.
See? There's male brains. I'll guarantee a woman never would have thought of that.
No. But I wish I knew what to do when it's time to change him. They didn't leave me any instructions on that.
Oh, I can show you that, Mr. Harris. I don't go to the movies twice a week for nothing, you know. Hand me a napkin.
Yeah, here you are. Let's see this.
Well, first you take this end and crisscross it to the other side and pin it. Like this.
Yeah.
See? Then you crisscross the other side over to this one and pin it. Now you take the underflap and pull it over here and pin it like this.
Now what?
Well, if I could think of a way to get my hand out, it'd be perfect.
Well, you better just let him sleep, Mr. Harris. Now, dinner's all set. Sit down, boys.
Okay.
Well, begin, everybody.
You first, Mr. Harris. You're the oldest.
What's that got to do with it?
You've lived your life already.
It looks fine, but to tell the truth, I'm not very hungry.
You know something? I kind of wish I had my wife back.
Yeah, this isn't very much... Hey, isn't that somebody outside?
Our wives. They've finally come home to apologize.
Oh, so that's she said. Really? I thought you said itching.
Well, and just where have you three been until this hour?
Around. We dropped in at the pool room and shot a little snooker.
Snooker?
Yes, and then we stopped in at the fight for a few minutes.
And we wound up with the burlesque show. Wow! That second boy from the left. Hey, Clara!
You ain't just speaking your gums, kiddo. Well, did you boys have a nice evening together?
We kind of missed you, ladies.
Oh, you'll get used to it in a few months.
No, Poopsie. Don't say that. You did this to us, Dennis, eh?
Me?
Yes, with that fool interview of yours. Please, ladies, reconsider. Take us back the way we were. Give us men our happy slavehood again.
Well...
Please, Mrs. Anderson, I was wrong to talk about women the way I did. There's room in this world for two sexes. In fact, in many ways, it's a very nice arrangement.
Well, do you really think you've learned your lesson, Herbert?
Oh, I have. I do, Cuddles, I do. Take me back, please.
Very well. If you're truly sorry, we'll forget this ever happened.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Anderson.
Oh, Poopsie, you darling. Come here and let me clasp you to my manly stomach once again.
Dennis Day will be back in just 1 minute to sing Song of Songs. But first...
Dream girl, beautiful luster cream girl, hair that gleams and glistens from a luster cream shampoo.
Yes, for soft, glamorous green girl hair, try Luster Cream Shampoo. Now in convenient tubes or jars, whichever you prefer. Luster Cream Shampoo leaves hair with new three-way loveliness. Fragrantly clean, glistening with sheen, soft, easy to manage. Not a soap, not a liquid, but an utterly new, rich lathering cream shampoo, a blend of secret ingredients plus lanolin. 4-ounce jar, $1. Smaller sizes, tubes or jars, 49 and 25 cents. Be a dream girl, a lovely luster cream girl.
Dream girl, beautiful luster cream girl, you owe your crowning glory to a luster cream shampoo.
Here now is Dennis with the music of Charles Dant and the orchestra singing Song of Songs.
Do you recall that night in June when first we met? Do you remember, love, the words we spoke? Have you forgotten all the tender vows we made? In the silent, magical moonbeams light, one of the golden dreams with tomorrow were more to me than that melody. Fill the heart with the joy once it knew. Oh, night of bliss, night of June and love, beneath the stars amid the roses, who dream of delight that faded at dawn. Oh, song of songs, oh, night of bliss, when you were my whole world of love. When you were my whole world of love.
Good night, everybody.
Next week, tune in to another Dentist Day show brought to you by Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth, and Luster Cream Shampoo for soft, glamorous, dream girl hair. This is Vern Smith speaking. Good night, everyone.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.
From Hollywood, Colgate Tooth Powder for a breath that's sweet and teeth that sparkle presents the Mel Blanc Show. Colgate Tooth Powder for a breath that's sweet and teeth that sparkle brings you the Mel Blanc Show with Mary Jane Croft, Earl Ross, B. Benaderet, Joe Kern, Zookie, and Victor Miller and his orchestra. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard Mel Blanc as the Happy Postman.
Hello, Mrs. Burns. Here's your mail. Well, goodbye, Mrs. Burns. Remember, keep smiling.
You've heard him as the famous train caller.
Train leaving on track 5 for Anaheim, Azusa, and Cucamonga.
You've heard him as Pedro.
Pardon me for talking in your face, senorita. 30 days hacienda, April, June, and sombrero. I think.
You've heard him as the lovable character Zookie.
Well, in the fix-it shop, I'm the president. I'm the vice president. I'm the treasurer. I sweep out the place.
You've heard him as the famous Warner Brothers cartoon character Bugs Bunny.
What's up, Doc?
Now hear him as the star in his own show.
Hello, Mel Blanc's Fix-It Shop. You bend it, we mend it.
Say, do you have a broken chair in your house? A broken table in your house? Anything that's housebroken? Well, don't try to fix it yourself. Don't ruin it. Bring it to Mel Blanc. Let him do it. Right now, in the Fix-It Shop, Mel's uncle is talking to our hero's general assistant, Zookie. Zookie, come here, will you?
Well, I can't. I'm too Here I am.
What time is it, Zookie?
Well, according to me and my clock, it's I can't tell you.
Why can't you tell me?
Well, because by the time I tell you what time it is, it's some other time.
Come on, Zookie. Here come Mel and Betty. Let's get out of here.
Look, darling, don't you see the Fix-It Shop will never amount to a thing as long as you let your Uncle Rupert and Zookie live with you.
Well, gosh, honey, I have to let them stay here.
Well, why can't that uncle of yours go to work?
Well, he's still weak from his overseas shots.
Overseas shots?
Yeah, he got him in 1917. He spent 6 months in Pierre's Bar and Grill in Paris. 20 shots a night.
That I can almost believe.
Oh, that's right. The last time he saw Paris, he didn't see it so good.
Oh, Mel, why don't you try to be serious about business?
Well, I try.
And another thing, do you realize that we have been engaged now for 5 years?
Gosh, our wooden anniversary.
Don't you think we might begin toying with the idea of getting married?
Oh, now, honey, you know I've been working on our nest egg.
Well, we're both getting old, the egg and I.
Well, yeah, but...
Mel Blanc, now this is what I'm talking about. Now, look at this birthday card my father got from the Eternal Life Insurance Company this morning. Now, why don't you do something like that? Why don't you try to build goodwill?
Okay. I'll send a birthday card to everybody in town who has a birthday this month.
Oh, Mel, that's wonderful.
And another thing, I'm going to talk to Uncle Rupert and put him straight.
Oh, darling, it's so good to hear you talk like this.
I'll tell Uncle. He'll just have to buckle down and loaf somewhere else. I'm sorry, Uncle Rupert, but that's the way it's got to be.
Melvin, my boy, I'm hurt. Haven't Zuki and I been everything to you?
Well, not exactly.
I haven't been everything to you?
No. That's why I want to get married. You can't even cook.
Well, anyway, my lad, let's not be hasty. I've got another idea. Why don't I go on living here and work for you?
Oh, but Uncle Rupert, I can't afford to pay you anything.
Oh, that's all right, nephew. After a while, you'll owe me so much money, I'll own the fix-it shop.
Well, yeah,
Then you can go to work for me until you earn enough money to get it back.
Say, both of us can make a darn good living like that for years. Now, wait.
Doesn't hit you, eh?
No. Uncle Rupert, you're not talking me out of this.
I see what you mean. Well, Melvin, this means the parting of the ways. I shall simply have to ask Widow Longnecker to marry me.
Oh, but you said yourself marriage is a serious thing. Are you sure Mrs. Longnecker's your type?
Why, of course Clara's my type. She's rich, isn't she?
Yeah, but you should marry for love.
Well, I love money.
But she's so long and lanky.
Melvin, my lad, when a lady is that wealthy, she's not long and lanky. She's tall and stately.
Well, have it your way. Now, will you send Zuki for those birthday cards?
Indeed, I will. Oh, Zuki, will you come here, please?
Well, I can't. I'm too busy. Here I am.
Nell wants you to go down to City Hall and get a list of people's birthdays.
Oh, people's yeah.
Then stop off on your way back and pick up some birthday cards in the 5 and 10.
Yeah.
Have you got that straight now?
Yeah. Hey, I'm looking for the
Young man! Huh? This is the Bureau of Vital Statistics.
Yeah, I know.
Oh. We have records on everybody from the cradle to the grave. Records on men, records on women. Also Spike Jones playing the gypsy. What can I do for you?
Well, I'm looking for the birthday, rockabye, Hey, I bet you was a beautiful baby.
Oh, yes, indeed I was. Why, my mother used to... Oh, so that's it. You're expecting a baby.
Oh, how could I have a baby? I'm not even married.
Well, you should have thought of that before. Marriage licenses are down the hall.
Hey, but I'm a confirmed bachelor. I don't believe in me. I'm put loose in fancy. Nobody wants me.
Now, make up your mind what you want. Our files are complete from the cradle to the grave. We have the cross index to ZY, countercross to AAL, and crisscross to YYZ, ending with the fiscal year MCM XLV. Now, what do you have?
Let me hear Spike Jones playing the gypsy.
I give up. Look, here's a list of everything we've got. You can take your pick.
Oh, thanks. Gosh. This printing is sure close to the paper.
Is that you, Zuki? It's about time you... Oh, it's you, Mrs. Longnecker. How are you today?
Oh, me. Another day, another dividend. The woes of wealth.
Well, what's the matter, Mrs. Longnecker?
Oh, it's so annoying. I was at the bank all day today.
You were?
Yes, the bank wants to borrow some money from me. But I'm not going to give it to them.
Why not?
They haven't paid the last loan I made them. If they don't pay me back soon, I'll just have to foreclose. I get more darn banks that way. Oh, money, money, money. Think of it, Melvin. I'm just swimming in wealth.
What a beautiful way to drown. Oh, by the way, Mrs. Longnecker.
Yes?
Were you born this month?
Was I what?
Were you born this month?
Oh, of course. I'm just out doing a little shopping for my mother who's still in the hospital.
Well, you see, I'm sending birthday cards from the Fix-It Shop to everybody in town who has a birthday this month.
Well, what on earth for?
Oh, it's a great business idea. Make a lot of money, so Betty will be proud of me.
Money. Doesn't that fiancé of yours realize the terrible things money can do to a human being? Why, just look at me.
Yeah, maybe I ought to warn her. Do you think that...
my dear Clara, this is indeed a pleasure.
Well, I didn't come here to give you pleasure. What do you want, Rupert?
I wish I could tell you how radiant you are, my dear. How like a tall, stately sapling... sapling... sapling in the breeze. Yes, I wish I could tell you, but I don't have the words.
Well, considering you did it without words, it was okay.
Please, Rupert, I'm in no mood for your nincompoopity.
Nincompoopity?
Oh, Melvin, I've quite forgotten what I came in for. I'm giving a reception tonight at the mansion, and I want you to come up and fix a loose floorboard on the front porch.
A loose floorboard?
Yes, every time somebody walks into the house, the board comes up and slaps them in the face.
Gee, that's embarrassing.
It's even more embarrassing when they walk out.
Goodbye, Mrs. Longnecker. Well, Betty, all the birthday cards are mailed out.
Oh, Mel, I can't wait to see what happens.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if someday I have to use a velvet rope to handle the crowds in front of the Fix-It Shop.
Yes, honey.
Why, the Fix-It Shop will become a household word. You know, like Drano.
Yes, honey. Can I see one of the cards?
Oh, sure. Here.
Oh, they're pretty. Let's see, it says, best wishes on this most joyous of all occasions, your very own natal day.
Yeah, natal day. That means birthday. I looked it up.
Now, wait a minute. What's this?
What's what?
Behind this little flap on the card. Look what it says.
Oh, I didn't notice any flap.
It says, I hope the gift I'm sending you under separate cover will brighten this most joyous of all occasions, your very own natal day.
That means birthday.
Oh, Mel, what did you do?
I looked it up.
Don't you realize what this means?
Oh, yeah. Means I've got to get 98 birthday presents for all the people I sent cards to. Oh, if I don't, they'll never come near the Fix-It Shop.
And you were going to keep the crowds back, with a velvet rope, no less.
Well, I can still find use for the velvet rope.
For what, for instance?
Well, not everybody can afford to hang himself with a velvet rope.
Colgate tooth powder, keep smiling just right. Use it each morning and use it each night.
Don't take a chance with your romance.
Use Colgate tooth powder.
How often it happens, you meet a man and you think, he's a nice fellow, but what? Well, you hate to say it, but it's that little breath of trouble. I mean, unpleasing breath. And the chances are this chap doesn't dream that a breath of trouble is tagging him, making him unpopular, hindering him in business, spoiling his fun. Without suspecting it, you may be the victim of unpleasing breath. So be on your guard against it. Just do this. Brush your teeth night and morning and before every date with Colgate tooth powder. For Colgate tooth powder cleans your breath as it cleans your teeth. Yes, scientific tests have definitely proved that in 7 cases out of 10, Colgate tooth powder instantly stops unpleasing breath that originates in the mouth. What's more, no dentifrice at any price cleans your teeth more quickly and thoroughly than Colgate tooth powder. Remember to buy it first thing,
And remember the name Colgate Tooth Powder with the accent on powder.
Don't take a chance with your romance.
Use Colgate Tooth Powder.
Looky, come here, please.
Yeah, okay. Don't take a chance with your romance.
Oh, Mel, I wish I could think of some way to help you.
Gosh, Betty, what am I going to do for presents for those people? I've thought of everything.
Well, it's no use worrying about it now. I guess something like this could happen to anybody.
Yeah, but it always happens to me.
Oh, Mel.
Betty, you know you're the only girl in the world for me, don't you?
Am I?
You're the only girl who'll have me. And you're so pretty, too. You know, every morning I think of you while I'm shaving.
I'm glad.
Sure. I look in the mirror and I say to myself, gosh, you're beautiful.
Oh, Mel.
Oh, well, you know what I mean. You're so sweet and I'm such a worthless, brainless, shiftless, stupid... Gee, aren't you going to interrupt me?
Oh, don't worry, darling. Everything will be all right. The world always has an opening for someone like you. You just have to find it.
What do you mean, find an opening? Look at the hole I'm in now.
Melvin, my lad, your troubles are over.
What do you mean, Uncle Rupert?
In this big package, you see 100 beautiful boxes of candy. They'll make 100 most appropriate birthday presents for the people you sent the birthday cards to.
Hey, that's swell, but where did you get them?
It so happens I ran across a dear old friend today, one Harry Greenspiegel, who now owns the Ace Novelty Company.
Yeah?
Ah, good old Greenspiegel. Used to be a fellow vendor in a barbecue house in Hoboken.
Uncle Rupert, I never knew you sold things in a burlesque house.
Huh? Oh, purely educational. Photographic knowledge for gentlemen who never went to college. Postcards, to be exact.
Postcards?
Oui. Ooh la la.
Uncle Rupert.
Oh, inspirational views of the Eiffel Tower. Well, let's get these boxes in the mail.
Say, I'll be doing better than the life insurance company. They only send out birthday cards to customers.
The cheapskates.
Yeah. I'll be sending bonbons by Greenspiegel. De Paris. I guess this'll show people in this town this isn't a melon I have for a head.
That's right, Melvin. You've got brains in that melon.
Uncle Rupert, it was nice of you to get that candy for Mel.
You know me, Betty. Unselfish to a fault.
Yes. Well, anyway, I don't understand it. We mailed that candy out 2 days ago, and we haven't received one thank you note. Not even a phone call. Oh, look, here comes Mrs. Longnecker.
Ah, maybe this is my chance to win her hand. The one that signs the checks. I have just one box of candy left. I'll try it on her and see how she likes it.
Well, good luck to you. I'll leave you two alone.
Ah, Clara, my dear.
Hello, Rupert.
So glad you dropped in.
Now, Rupert, I'm in no mood for your nincompoopity.
But, Clara, I have a beautiful gift for you.
A gift for me? Oh, how nice, Rupert.
Yes, a box of French bonbons, direct from Paris. Made by my very good friend, Monsieur Greenspiegel.
Oh, you shouldn't have done it.
Oh, it's quite all right. A gift for the fairest of the fair. They come to you untouched by human hand. Greenspiegel wrapped them himself.
Well, I must open them immediately and try one.
Try one of the peanut clusters.
Oh, but these are not peanut clusters. These are ordinary peanuts.
If I'd known you were coming, my dear, I'd have clustered them myself.
Yes. Well, no, I think I'll try one of these caramels.
Mmm! Delicious, aren't they, my dear? Stop jumping up and down, Clara. What the devil's the matter with her?
Hey, Uncle Rupert, what happened to Mrs. Longnecker?
Maybe she hasn't learned how to use her new upper plate.
Learn? What does she do, take lessons? Hey, what happened anyway?
Hold on. What's this inside the candy box?
What? Oh. Ace Novelty Company's #1 joker. Be the life of the party. Treat your friends to Sure Pucker alum candy. Oh, no. Oh, 50 mirthquakes to a box. Laugh yourself to death.
There's been some mistake, nephew.
Oh, some mistake is right. I can just see 98 people chasing me down the street, all of them yelling, "Kill Mel Blanc! Kill Mel Blanc!"
Mel, take it easy, take it easy. What are you doing?
Can't you see? I'm laughing myself to death. Laughing! Gosh, I feel awful. Gosh, if only one of those people we sent the candy to would say something. If they'd only do something, why don't they?
It takes a little time.
A lawyer. Gee, I bet they could send me to the state penitentiary for doing this to people.
They can't send you to a state penitentiary, Melvin.
Of course they can.
Using the mails to defraud is a federal offense.
State penitentiary and federal prison. You know what I'll have pinned on me? A two-way stretch.
Now, don't be silly.
Hey, the mailman is coming. Oh, he's got loads of mail. Hey, you better leave by the back door, Mel.
Yes, nephew, run for the hills.
No, Uncle Rupert. I'm going to face the music.
Well. Quite a bit of mail for you today, Mr. Blank.
Wait. All those boxes. It's the candy we sent out.
And those are all the birthday cards.
Here, let me see. Hey, they all read the same way. Listen. Return to sender. Addressee deceased.
That means dead. I looked it up.
Huh?
Say, Mel, I think I know what happened.
Well, I wish you'd tell me.
Don't you see? Zuki got the wrong list down at City Hall. Instead of birthdays, he got the names of people who passed away.
Oh. Then I'm safe. Nothing happened.
That's right, and you can thank Zuki for that.
Gosh, yeah. Gee, you saved my life, Zuki. I could kiss you.
Hey, you can't kiss me out there. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. He did.
Well, we'll be back in the Fix-It shop in just a minute for a Zookieism. What's a Zookieism? Wait and see.
Use Colgate tooth powder. Keep smiling just right. Use it each morning and use it each night.
Don't take a chance with your romance.
Use Colgate tooth powder.
Take it from me, that little breath of trouble, I mean unpleasing breath, can put the end in friendship or even give the air to a love affair. And the worst of it is, you may not even suspect it, because unpleasing breath can catch up with you without your knowing it. So ask yourself, could you be the victim of unpleasing breath? Guard against it this way. Brush your teeth night and morning and before every date with Colgate tooth powder. For Colgate tooth powder cleans your breath as it cleans your teeth. Yes, scientific tests have definitely proved that in 7 cases out of 10, Colgate tooth powder instantly stops unpleasing breath that originates in the mouth. What's more, no dentifrice at any price cleans your teeth more quickly and thoroughly than Colgate tooth powder. Remember to buy it first thing. And remember the name Colgate tooth powder, with the accent on powder.
Don't take a chance with your romance.
Use Colgate tooth powder.
Well, Zuki, we had quite an experience with those birthday cards. You know, Zuki, I like to feel that you learned something from it.
Yes, Zuki, everything has a moral. Just what did you learn?
Well, to tell you the truth, I learned that anything worth you must keep your nose to the grind. You gotta keep your nose to the grind. I learned that it sure pays to be ignorant.
reminding you that Colgate Tooth Powder for a breath that's sweet and teeth that sparkle brings you the Mel Blanc Show every Tuesday at the same time. Be sure to join us again next Tuesday night for more fun with Mel and the people you'll meet in Mel Blanc's Fix-It Shop. The Mel Blanc Show was written by David Victor and Herb Little, Jr. and was produced and directed by Joe Rhine.
Say hello to Halo Shampoo if you want naturally bright and beautiful hair. For Halo Shampoo contains no soap, therefore leaves no dulling soap film. Halo lets hair sparkle with natural brilliance. Even in hardest water, Halo makes oceans of rich, fragrant lather to quickly carry away loose dandruff and dirt. Halo needs no lemon or vinegar rinse. Say hello to Halo and goodbye to dulling soap film. Get Halo Shampoo at any cosmetic counter.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
The Ford Dealers of America present the Fred Allen Show. The Fred Allen Show with Fred's guests Bert Lahr, Portland Hoffa, Minerva Pius, Peter Donald, Parker Finley, the DeMarco Sisters, and Al Goodman and his orchestra. And this is Kenny Delmar saying hello for your friendly Ford dealer. And here's a hello from his Ford trained mechanics, too. They're the men you know who do the expert work you can always count on when you bring your Ford back home for service. To help them do a better, faster job, they use special labor-saving Ford equipment. They work by factory-approved methods, and they know the value of using genuine Ford parts, made right, to fit right, and last longer. That's why the best service can cost less at your Ford dealers. It's why you save time, save trouble, and save money when you bring your Ford back home for service. Well, it's Sunday night again, and here comes Fred Allen, driving up in his new Ford to keep his weekly date at the corner of Main Street. As Fred steps out of his Ford, he hears a voice say,
Mr. Allen!
Oh, Portland, get away. I was held up in traffic, Portland. I guess I'm a little late, or didn't you notice?
Oh, I've been reading this magazine.
Oh, the Cosmopolitan.
Mm-hmm. There's a story about your program.
Well, I know. The fellow who wrote that, Joe McCarthy, hung around with us for a whole week.
He tells how you work with the writers, how you make up the jokes, how you put the program on the radio. Mama says the story only leaves out one thing.
What one thing?
It tells how you do it, but it doesn't tell why you do it.
Well, millions of people who own radio sets are asking the same question, Portland.
Mama says radio is disappearing.
Radio is disappearing?
On account of television.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Well, Mama says since she got her television set, she hasn't turned on a radio.
Why not?
Mama says after looking at television, her eyes are so blurred, she can't find the radio to turn it on.
Oh, I think that's happening all over. But speaking of television, there was a rumor around that Milton Berle wasn't on this last week.
100 saloons closed down. Milton Berle had virus X.
X? He can't spell pneumonia, hey?
He must have been pretty sick.
Well, I don't know how a germ can even get at Berle. He has enough mold on his jokes to make his own penicillin. To live to see the day Berle gets applause on this program. It must have been a recording someone sneaked in. Well, what's new this week, Portland?
Grover Whalen says that the city of New York should advertise itself.
You mean like on the radio with jingles?
Yes. Now, I wrote a poem about New York.
No kidding. How does the poem go?
New York's the greatest city. By 2 rivers it is bound. It has the highest buildings and 3 subways underground. It has more theaters, shops, and stores, 1 million worthwhile sights. If you don't know where New York is, it's a suburb of Jackson Heights.
Well, before Grover Whalen closes in on the two of us and beats us to death with a gardenia, I think I'll go along and get the paper.
Let's take a walk down Main Street.
All right, let's go.
What does the paper say?
Well, this page here, you see, has pictures of the dog show. Look.
That man is standing with a bird dog.
Well, how do you know it's a bird dog?
It's giving the man one.
Oh, I just thought the dog's tongue was hanging out. I didn't realize what it was doing. Say, here's something. Look, the Bureau of Labor Statistics says that the cost of living has fallen for the third month in a row.
Do you think people have noticed that prices are dropping?
Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's ask some people now as we're walking along Main Street. This man with the bat wing tie, who is carrying the rest of the bat in his hand. Pardon me, Bud.
Claghorn, say Claghorn's the name, son. Senator Claghorn, that is.
Well,
don't hold me up, son. What's on your mind? I'm busy eating a fly trying to float in a glass of Alka-Seltzer.
You're busy?
Yeah, I've been going to night school, studying Russian.
Studying Russian?
Stalin invited the president over to Moscow.
Say, I read that the president turned down that invitation. Why, Senator?
Harry don't want to leave Washington, son.
Well, why not?
Harry had enough trouble getting there.
Tell me, why did Stalin invite the president to Russia?
The Republicans say Stalin wants to congratulate Harry. He's got the whole country in the red.
Well, do you think Russia is making any progress?
Yeah, they're trying, son, but they ain't got the know-how.
No?
This week, the first washing machine come out in Moscow.
Really?
Yeah, but nobody in Russia can use it.
Why can't the Russian people use the washing machine?
No soap.
I see. Well, Senator, about our question, why are prices coming down?
It's them radio quiz shows, son. People are getting too much stuff for nothing.
Oh.
Half of the people in the country got flat feet.
Flat feet from what?
Standing by for the giant jackpot.
Well, do you think prices will keep falling, Senator?
Yes, son. You can quote me. Prices will keep falling.
Why?
Big business is going to take a licking.
Oh.
When I was a little boy, my daddy used to take me out to the woodshed.
Yeah?
That's where I learned.
In the woodshed, how could you learn about prices falling?
Son, when you're going to take a licking, something's got to come down.
Say, Portland, look across. Look at that crowd outside of Carnegie Hall.
Oh, Mama had tickets for tonight, but she isn't going.
Well, why not?
The ad said, for the entire evening, Horowitz will be at the Baldwin.
At the Baldwin, huh?
Mama said, why should she pay to see some man sitting all night with an apple?
Yes, better he should be there with his Macintosh in case it rained later. Hey, look who just turned the corner.
Titus Moody.
Hi, Mr. Moody.
Howdy, Bob.
Mr. Moody, you are as white as a sheet.
I'm whiter than most sheets.
Been ailing?
Yeah, I'm just getting over a spell of ptomaine.
Oh, well, where did you pick up the ptomaine?
Why, the Achieve and Chatter Club, they had to do.
The Achieve and Chatter Club, eh?
Yeah, they cooked up a squirrel stew.
Uh-huh.
When I got my plate, I saw something in the stew.
You saw something in the stew?
And I think it saw me.
When you finished eating the squirrel stew?
It felt like the squirrel come to life and was burying things in my stomach.
You were upset?
Yeah. I took a stiff jolt of elderberry wine.
Yes?
I got higher than a tomcat's back.
You did, eh?
While Miss Arthur Dixon was singing Don't Leave Your Mother When Her Hair Turns Gray,
yes,
I started singing Peeking Through the Knothole in Grandma's Wooden Leg.
Yes?
And I heard somebody saying, Moody has got a skinful.
Moody's got a skinful, eh?
Next thing I knowed, I woke up. It was the next day, and over my bed, Miss Moody had hung a picture of Carrie Nation.
Fine. Well, tell me, Titus, what about, wrong generation. Tell me, Titus, what about this trend? Prices dropping, people saving money.
Oh, money don't mean nothing to me.
It doesn't?
No, I always do like my brother Huber.
Yeah?
Huber's a politician up in the woods of Maine.
Politician, eh?
Yeah, Huber never has any money.
Well, how's he get along?
Well, every winter, Huber, he kills a deer.
Yes?
If Huber owes people, he pays them, passing out deer meat.
Oh, he uses deer meat for money.
Yeah, Huber's like the rest of the politicians.
How?
He lives by passing the buck. So long, but...
Well, let's walk faster, Portland. I think it's getting colder out.
Look who just came out of the Capitol Theater.
Mrs. Nussbaum.
Say, which way is a drugstore?
A drugstore?
I'm needing an aspirin.
Why do you need an aspirin?
There is no escaping.
Well, Mrs. Nussbaum.
Slowly, I'm going crazy.
What's wrong?
Every morning, I'm turning on my radio.
Yes?
It's coming on Arthur Godfrey.
Arthur Godfrey?
At night, I'm turning on my television set.
Yes?
Coming on Arthur Godfrey. Today, finally, I'm saying to myself, Pansy, get out of the house. Go to a movie.
Yes?
This way you are escaping Arthur Godfrey.
What happened?
I'm going into the Capitol Theater.
The Capitol Theater?
I'm sitting nicely in a seat, shucking mein Hershey bar.
After you had finished shucking your Hershey bar?
Suddenly it is the stage show.
Yes?
Who is coming out on the stage?
Who?
Who do you think?
Stephen Fetchit?
He's coming on second.
Well, who came on first?
Arthur Godfrey.
Now, wait a minute. Enough with Godfrey, Mrs. Nussbaum. Tell me, have you noticed that prices are lower?
On account of low prices, mine husband Pierre is getting Virus Max.
Virus Max, eh? Well, how do you mean on account of low prices?
Well, Pierre is running a fur business.
Yes?
Monday, Pierre is having a markdown sale.
Markdown, huh?
Tuesday, he's cutting the markdown prices.
Yes?
Wednesday, he is slashing the cut prices.
Oh.
Thursday, Pierre is selling furs all day outside on the sidewalk.
Yes?
Well, it's raining and Pierre is catching the Virus Max.
But what was Pierre doing selling furs outside on the sidewalk?
Prices finally is so low.
Yes?
Pierre is ashamed to be seen in the store.
Oh, I see. Good night, Mrs. Nussbaum. Well, after looking at these characters, Portland, Main Street should really put on a straitjacket.
You haven't found out anything about lower prices, have you?
Well, not yet. I tell you what I'll do, though. I'll try one more passerby. This little man carrying the long swizzle stick for a cane. Hi, Cobber.
You know, get your hands off me. I'll take out all the time. What's the phone with me?
Ajax Double Voice Cassidy.
It isn't Doodles Weaver, me boy.
Ajax, you're all dressed up again this week.
Oh, sure. I'm the Adolph Monju at 3rd Avenue.
Oh, really?
I'm always setting styles.
Setting styles, eh?
I was the first man in the Easter parade to wear broccoli for a boutonniere.
I didn't know that.
I was the first man with a full-dress suit to wear black spats and bare feet.
I didn't know that either. But tell me, why are you dressed up today?
This afternoon, you see, I went to a wedding.
Yes?
Pegeen Drumgoole married Cosmas Hennessy.
Oh, I see.
Oh, Pegeen couldn't resist a uniform.
A uniform, eh?
And Cosmas was a street cleaner.
Well, how was the wedding?
It was a sight to behold, me boy. The bride and groom left the church under an arch of dirty brooms. And as they drove off in the big swill truck, the guests were holding their noses and waving goodbye.
I'm sorry I missed it, Ajax. But tell me about our question now. Have you noticed prices dropping?
Oh, I have, me boy. Sure, Haggerty the haberdasher has white duck shirts for 98 cents.
Is that retail?
It's no tail. But there's a catch to it.
Yes?
With every shirt, Haggerty gives you one handkerchief free.
Well, where's the catch?
The handkerchief is the tail of your shirt.
Oh, well, are you glad that prices are coming down?
Oh, I am that. When food is cheap, I can give the wife less money to run the house.
Yes?
And that leaves me more money to spend in Kerrigan's.
Oh, fine.
When everything is low, I can be high. Goodbye, Devo.
So long. Well, come on, Portland. Come away from that music store window.
There's a big picture of Carmen Lombardo.
Carmen Lombardo.
And it's advertising his song.
Oh, the song Powder Your Face with Sunshine.
What is that song like?
You know what? Some Sunday I'll have Al Goodman and his orchestra and the 5 DeMarco sisters do Powder Your Face with Sunshine, Portland. And you know something? It'll sound something like this. Listen now.
Powder your face with sunshine. Put on a great big smile. Make up your eyes with laughter. Folks will be laughing with you in a little while. Whistle a tune of gladness. Bloom never was in sight. The future's brighter when hearts are lighter. Smile, smile, smile. Powder your face. Sunshine, smile and make up your eyes with laughter. Folks will be laughing with you in a little while. The future's bound to be brighter whenever hearts are lighter. Smile, smile, chin up, grin up while you smile. Smile, smile.
Wait here just a minute, Portland. Kenny Delmar just came out of the Ford dealers. There's a man in a loud checkered suit with him. Say hi, Kenny.
Hello, Fred. I want you to meet a friend of mine, Adjective Adams. Adjective is a press agent for a circus.
Well, glad to know you, Adjective.
It's the most super colossal pleasure of my sensational mastodonic career, Mr. Allen.
Yeah, I've just been showing Mr. Adams the new Ford trucks, Fred, and he was quite impressed.
My exact words were they're tremendous, titanic, gargantuan, and super magnitudinous.
Say, they must be pretty big.
Well, the big jobs are the biggest trucks Ford has ever built, Fred. In tractor-trailer operations, they have loads grossing up to 20 tons with power to spare.
Ford trucks are a standard for colossal commodiousness, the new comfort criterion of the century.
Well, it sounds good, Kenny, but what does it mean?
Well, that's Adjective Adams' way of describing the comfort of the Ford truck's new $1 million cab, Fred. Truck drivers are all raving about it.
And the drivers are right. It's dividend dimension for time-defined duration and dutiability.
Kenny, this I will never understand.
Well, that's an easy one, Fred. It means that all the new Ford trucks are bonus built. All 139 new Ford truck models are built extra strong to last longer.
Well, Kenny, this is very impressive, but don't you think that Adjective Adams here exaggerates just a little?
Oh, of course not, Fred. Almost any truck operator will tell you exactly the same thing about that great new line of Ford trucks.
Well, so long, Kenny. And Mr. Adams, a stupendous, awe-inspiring, gigantic good night to you, sir.
You took the words right out of my mouth. So long, brother.
So long, Adjective. Say, Portland, I'll have to hurry along. I'm due over at the rehearsal hall. I'm auditioning acts tonight for a big review.
A review?
It's for television. Last week, you know, Admiral put on a whole Broadway review with Sid Caesar. It was a sensation.
Who's going to be in your review?
Well, I don't know yet. I put this ad in the paper.
What ad?
I have it right here, you see? It says, wanted for new television review. Singers, dancers, and old vaudeville acts. Get into television now before it turns back into radio again. Well, Portland, I have to get over to the rehearsal hall. I'll see you later.
Good night.
Good night, Portland. Sam Starlight Studio. Here's the rehearsal hall. Well, I hope my newspaper ad gets some results. I'll go in and see what's cooking here. Wonder where the manager is. Hey, Sam.
Yeah. Hi, Mr. Allen.
Behind the scenery. I didn't see you. Hello, Sam. Have any acts shown up for my audition?
Well, Herman the Human Fly was here.
Herman the Human Fly?
Yeah. He said he couldn't wait no longer. He sat around on the ceiling for a while and left.
Too bad, you know. I may be able to use a human fly.
Well, Herman said he'd give you a buzz later.
Oh, good. Well, has anyone else...
Pardon me, is Fred Allen here?
Bert Lahr. Bert, Bert, what are you doing here?
Well, I seen your ad in the paper. I want to get into television.
Television? Bert, you're a big star in the theater.
Oh, the theater is old-fashioned.
Old-fashioned?
Yes, they say in New Jersey, the theater is passaic.
Well, Bert, the theater.
Ah, the theater is washed up. Who's left in the theater? Lutton Fontaine, Cornell and Princeton. Well, you know, I'm getting into television before it's too late.
Well, Bert, wait a minute. Now, you're on the road with that hit show, Make Mine Manhattan.
Oh, don't mention the road to me.
Well, what's wrong with the road?
I'm in Philadelphia now. Have you ever spent a Sunday in Philadelphia?
No.
Well, I was walking around Philadelphia this morning. It felt like it was Resurrection Day, and I was the first one up.
Well, Bert, I remember the road used to be a lot of fun. Those boarding houses. Remember Mother Boone's in Baltimore?
Mother Boone never trusted actors. The towels were nailed to the bathroom wall.
Yes, Mother Boone was sure cheap. When you finished shaving, she'd take the lather and use it for meringue.
Yeah, Mother Boone wouldn't give you any hot water until after she finished boiling something in it.
Right.
One Saturday night, I took a bath.
Yeah?
Mother Boone gave me the water she had cooked some cabbage in.
Cabbage?
Yeah, I left town smelling like a boiled dinner.
Well, how about those hotels on the road, Bert? Remember the Mammoth Hotel in South Bend?
Yeah, I had a room at the Mammoth.
Yeah?
It was so small, I had to leave the window open.
Why?
Well, when I put my key through the keyhole, it used to break the window.
That was small.
Yeah, the transom had stained glass.
Stained glass?
Yeah, the guy who had it before me chewed tobacco.
Remember the house detective at the Mammoth?
Boy, was he cross-eyed. His eyes lapped over.
He was the only house detective I ever knew who could look through a keyhole with both eyes.
Hotels today are murder.
Well, it's still fun traveling around on trains.
Yeah, but today you can't get reservations. I had to go up to Boston on a cattle train.
You rode on a cattle train?
Yeah, the other passengers were nothing but cows. When I saw the conductor coming through the train with a pail, I got off at New Haven.
No kidding.
Fred, I gotta get into television.
Well, Bert, my show is going to be a Broadway review. I've got to get some vaudeville acts.
Well, I can get you all the acts you want, Fred.
Some good acts, really?
Yeah, remember Sloan and his singing rats?
Say, whatever happened to Sloan?
Well, I met him last week in Philadelphia. He was looking for a job.
Oh, really? Is Sloan getting his rat act together again?
I think so. He had 2 pounds of cheese. He said he was casting.
Sloan's singing rats. You know what, Bert? I can open with a big rat choir. All the rats on their hind legs singing, and that'll just for the opening, you see. Now, what other acts can I get?
Well, remember Murphy's Midgets?
Murphy's Midgets. What happened to Murphy when vaudeville disappeared?
Murphy had a tough time.
Went broke, eh?
Murphy finally shaved all the hair off the midgets and put them in an orphan asylum.
No kidding.
Yeah, if you want the act, Murphy can adopt the midgets and have them out in the morning.
Well, the midgets will be great on television. You know, on those small screens, you can show more people with midgets. Tell me, what other acts do you think we can line up, Bert?
Remember Bosco the talking dog?
Oh, Bosco, the Boston bull who never made a grammatical error.
Yeah, I can get Bosco. I was talking to him the other day at the A&P.
Oh, were you really? Say, Bert, I just happened to think. On television, Bosco, the dog, will have to learn new dialogue every week.
Well, then we better forget about Bosco.
The dog can talk. He must know how to read.
Well, Bosco can read all right.
What's wrong?
Well, his eyes are bad, and Bosco can't wear glasses.
Why not?
His ears flop down.
Well, I'm not worried about the other acts, Bert. I can build my television show around you.
Around me?
Why, certainly. What are you laughing at?
I'm just thinking how funny I'm going to be.
You'll be great, Bert. When my television review opens, first you'll see 2 minutes of flickering. And then you'll come on and sing a song.
You mean something like this?
A sleepy lagoon, a tropical moon, and 2 on an island, 2 on an island. A tropical moon, a sleepy lagoon, and you.
is great. I tell you what we'll do. We'll open the review with Sleepy Lagoon. I'll have Sloane's Singing Rats group behind you with canoe paddles, humming the obligata. Now, that's the opening. What can we do next?
Well, how about a short play?
What kind of a play?
Well, Fred, I got an English drawing room sketch that makes Noel Coward sound like Jack Eigen.
You mean it's sophisticated?
My characters not only drop their H's, after they drop them, they step on them.
Say, this is what television needs, Bert. What's the name of your play?
Amnesia.
Amnesia?
Yeah, the play opens with a short overture.
Don't bother, Giles. I shall open the door. Coming.
Lady Gwendolen.
Sir Stafford, what a ripping surprise.
I was just popping by, Lady Gwendolen. Thought I'd return this to you.
My riding crop.
You dropped your crop at the Unt last week.
I dropped my crop, fancy.
You didn't miss it?
Not at all. Amnesia, you know.
Amnesia?
A nasty blow with a cricket bat at the age of 3.
So sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. May I take your humber?
Thank you. I say, Lady Gwendolen, you're hanging my hat on the nozzle of that teapot.
I thought it was the whole tree. I forgot. Amnesia, you know.
Oh, Lady Gwendolen, dash it all. I've fallen madly in love with you.
Medley?
Medley. It was the day of the Unt. The way you jumped over that 9-foot hedge.
What made you watch me?
You had forgotten your horse.
Amnesia, you know.
Lady Gwendolen, I kiss your hand.
Sir Stafford, you're going above the knuckle.
Sorry, you have short fingers. Lady Gwendolen, will you marry me?
But I hardly know you, Sir Stafford. Your position?
My position. I have a townhouse in London, a castle in Stafford, and my country seat is the biggest in all Devonshire.
Your seat?
It's so big, part of it is outside of Devonshire. Marry me, Lady Gwendolen.
Oh, Sir Stafford.
Lady Gwendolen.
Cheerio, everyone.
Reggie, old top, you're just in time to congratulate us.
Oh, I see. Congratulate you.
Sir Stafford and I are getting married.
Married? But Gwendolen, you're married to me.
Oh, sorry, Sir Stafford. I can't marry you.
Lady Gwendolen, how could you forget you had a husband?
Amnesia, you know.
Well, that's the play, Fred. What do you think of it? It's great, Bert. My television show will be a sensation. Sloane's Rats, Murphy's Midgets, Bosco the Talking Dog, you in this English sketch. Now, all I need is a finish.
Say, I got an idea. How about a minstrel show?
Great, a minstrel. If Pick and Pat can do a minstrel show, so can we. I can see it now, Bert. As the curtain rises, the orchestra's playing.
Gentlemen, be seated. Well, Mr. Bones, how do you feel tonight?
Well, I feel like the inside of a stove.
How's that?
Great.
Oh, Mr. Locketer.
Yes, Mr. Tambo.
Why is a girl with a home permanent never alone?
Tell me, Mr. Tambo, why is a girl with a home permanent never alone?
Because she always has her Tony.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Tambo and Bones and the entire company join in a beautiful rendition of Ring the Banjo. Hit it, Professor.
The time is never weary if the darkie's ever grown. The lady's never weary with the rattle of the bone. Then come again, Susanna, by the gaslight of the moon. We'll play the old piano when the banjo's out of tune. Ring, ring the banjo, I like that good old song. Come again, my true love, oh, while you've been so long. Ring, ring the banjo, I like that good old song. Come again, my true love, oh, where you've been so long.
One more thing before we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here's an invitation from your Ford dealer. Until you actually drive the new Ford, you can't imagine how different it feels. It's an experience I know you'll enjoy. Your Ford dealer invites you to drop around this week and get behind the wheel. When you drive the new Ford, you'll see what we mean. Next week, our guest will be, surprise, Dr. Rockwell. Thank you and good night. Good night.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.